before the king. Pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, pa-pa-pum-pum, pa-pa-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, when we come. Baby Jesus, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, I am a poor boy too, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. I have no gift to bring, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. That's fit to give our king, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, pa-pa-pum-pum, pa-pa-pum-pum. Shall I play for you, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, on my drum? Very night, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. The ox and lamb kept time, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. I played my drum for him, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum. I played my best for him, pa-ra-pa-pum-pum, pa-pa-pum-pum, pa-pa-pum-pum.
All right. Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA, and I am glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Joining me as always is my good friend and co-host Bucho. Bucho, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Now listen, we got a sensational show for everybody tonight, but before we get down to the fun and the hijinks and the shenanigans, I want to remind you guys, if you want to continue supporting the show, you can do so by hitting that thumbs up button, subscribing, spreading the BDA gospel, join the BDA Discord, even though there's been a lot of drama there lately, much to my chagrin. You can join the BDA Discord, you can check out the BDA Twitter page, and if you get a couple of coins lying around, you can certainly shekel them our way via the Super Chat feature that's on your screen right there. You can also go to our Patreon page or our PayPal page, BDA PayPal. That's right. Alrighty, we got a donation from Eric Roses. Shout out to Eric Roses, who says, Lobito! Lobito! Yeah, Lobito, absolutely. Shout out to Eric Roses. So that's how you can continue to support us. Keep watching, keep hitting that thumbs up, subscribing. Also, let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat room. Sina Masia, Virtuoso, Rick Rocca, Triple JJJ, Joe Lopez, Nes Mendoza, Shepherd of Sons. Is Butcher really your friend or owner? You talking cat. What am I, a chest tire cat here? Neto says, I do not consider myself a boxing junkie. A junkie will perform fellatio to get his fix. That's a good one, Neto. That's a good one. Sina Masia, shout out to Pete is in the chat room as well. Shout out to Pete, the Fight Scout, Virtuoso, Telemos Lo-Fi, Pink Panther is in there as well. Foulpole Boxing, shout out to Foulpole. Jason Bourne, shout out to Jason. Nes Mendoza, and ZZ Mendoza. That's the other. We got three Mendozas. We got the Mendozas in the chat room. Eric Rosas, like I said, Shepherd of Sons, PED, Subash Kunwar, and many more to come, I'm sure. Thank you guys for coming up on the show. Saint Brit says the BDA Iron Curtain on Discord. Yeah, it figures a Brit would be so touchy about what's been going on in there. Yeah, the Brits, other than Stu and maybe a couple of others, Saint Brit is really taking this to heart. What up, says Chalino Sanchez. He says fake Mexican. Hey, he's got the... you know what? I guess
Chavez
I'm a
Jr.
fake. Huh?
The Chavez Jr. picture?
Is that the Chavez? No, but what's the original guy? That's
The
a singer.
original... I
The
have
original
no
guy's
idea
the
what it
singer
was.
that got murdered. It's a Mexican singer. Shit, I forgot his name. He's the one that sang Nieves de Invierno, something like that. Anyway, guys, man, we got a sensational night of boxing tonight. Butcher, we got a little bit of everything for everybody. We have Michael Conlon. All right, first of all, let's rewind here. It's on ESPN. Still haven't checked out the card. at what time it starts, but it's definitely taking place today. I can guarantee you that. We got a little bit of everything for everybody, like I said. You want grudge matches? We got Michael Conlan versus Vladimir Nikitin. Nikitin. Jeez, I can't even pronounce. You know, this Eastern Europeans. He's the guy that beat him in the Olympics. That infamous middle finger that Michael Conlan gave to the judges. Guys, there has not been a middle finger that infamous since I finger banged Ethel Mulberry over at prom, and then I subsequently put my finger in the punch bowl. That is legendary, but not as legendary as Michael Conlan giving the finger to everybody on national television. Then we have a crossroads fight. Richard Commey taking on Teofimo Lopez Jr. And supposedly, from what we hear, the winner takes on Lomachenko. And then, of course, we got a pound-for-pound fighter, Terence Crawford, taking on a very tough, undefeated, and hungry Egidijus Kavaliauskas from Lithuania. So, guys, we have jam-packed night. We're going to be inviting people. We're going to be taking calls. So stick around for that one. Let's just see what people... Hefe says, Conlan got robbed so bad, bro. But he's not saying bro. He's saying the Zoomer version. Bruh. Pete says, Stu, what's up? Oh, Stu's in there. Let me give you the...
Well, I can't send links, man.
I know. Take it easy.
No, I will not take it easy. I will not calm down.
Hold on a second.
Hefe says boomer.
What a boomer. What's the matter with you?
Mr. BDA was in Vietnam, remember? Oh, I was there too.
Which was peeling potatoes.
You could do whatever you wanted. And if you...
That's enough, Bucho. No, I'm sorry. I cut you off just at the time that you were bath-mouthing me.
Yeah,
so
I was saying that Vietnam was great, right? And I said, like, and if you died...
Vietnam was great.
If you died, you wouldn't even feel it.
That's the only time I ever... It's like that speech the guy gives on Full Metal Jacket when he's got the Vietnamese dead soldier there hanging around. And he goes, this is my bro. And he says, anyway, I forget what exactly he says, but he says, we're never gonna be this great again, ever again. No, that's how people saw it, man. Remember Rambo when at that final speech in Rambo 1 where he says, oh, when I was back in Vietnam, I used to drive a $1 million equipment. I used to be, have command of people, blah, blah, blah. And here I can't even get a job at a car wash. So that's what we go through. And by the way, we're not veterans. We never said we're veterans. We just said we went to Vietnam and we killed a bunch of people. But that doesn't mean we were in the Vietnam War or in the army. So make of that what you will. So, Bucho, are you looking forward to this fight, to this card, rather? Because it's a nice little card, man.
I don't care. I don't really care that much about the main event.
Oh.
But the Teofimo Lopez Commey fight, that's a pretty interesting fight. And by the way, I'm not the only one saying that the main event isn't interesting. Ticket sales apparently aren't even that good. And Bob Arum attributed this to obviously the mismatch that is the main event. But he claims basically that it's not his fault. It is the sanctioning body's fault for making this fight like a mandatory challenger fight with Kavaliauskas.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Can I just ask? So he's admitting that this is a mismatch?
He admits it's a mismatch, yes.
That's the first time. I think that's the first time I've ever heard Bob Arum badmouth one of his own cards. I think
he's mouth-mouthing the sanctioning bodies, I guess. But listen, you're a champion. You're supposed to fight these guys. But I mean, he's so old at this point, he doesn't give a fuck, I think.
That's the thing. Is he really... Because it's supposed to be Todd DeBuff, his stepson, right? That's supposed to be the guy that's in charge.
Son-in-law.
A son-in-law, yeah. Oh, why did I say stepson? His son-in-law. That's the guy that's supposed to be the main honcho over there. But it seems like... I think that is a bit of a casino Sam Rothstein situation where he pretends he's not the boss, but deep down inside he's the one calling the shots. I think that's what Bob Arum is doing. He's a Sam Rothstein of boxing right now. Yeah, the Fight Scout says Bob Arum doesn't run Top Rank anymore. It's his son-in-law. Well, so they say. So they say. I don't particularly trust what's coming out of that company right now all the time. Remember, guys, Bob Arum is the guy that said, yesterday I was lying, today I'm telling the truth. Spoken like a true Harvard lawyer. Shyster. All right, we got Gonzalo on the line. Gonzalo, are you there?
Yes, how's it going, guys?
Good, good. How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
Hey, did you finally finish that punching bag, right? Installing that, because I know you were making videos about how you were welding the thing and trying to put it together.
Yeah, I welded the frames for the speed bag, double limb bag, and punching bag.
Man, I wish I had place. First of all, I wish I knew I could do all those stuff, all that things. But I also wish I had the place to install my own puncher bag. At least I'm trying to install my own double end bag. I love hitting the double end bag, and maybe one day I'll be able to install that up in here if I make the space. But well, good for you for installing that punching bag. We've seen you going on the bag with those hooks of yours, man. You got a nice left hook to the body, man.
That's okay.
Well, it's not okay for whoever eats it to the liver. But listen, Gonzalo, we got like I was telling Bucho, we got a nice little card today or tonight rather. We have a grudge match between Conlan and Nitkin, whatever his name is. He's the guy that beat him in the Olympics, controversially, of course. Then we have the card that I think most of us are looking forward to, which is Teofimo Lopez versus Commey. And then the main event, we got Crawford versus Kavaliauskas. Are you looking forward to this one, or are you, lukewarm about it?
Definitely, especially the Teofimo Lopez versus Richard Commey, or Richard
Right.
Commey versus Teofimo Lopez, because Richard Commey is a champion.
Oh, right.
And the Kavaliauskas fight, he's a good fighter. Used to be with Robert Garcia. He's a power puncher. He throws great hooks. Got 41% jab percentage, and he's all right. Not particularly fast, but he's those Eastern Europeans, they bring it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see how he fights against Terence Crawford, the number 1, number 2, or number 3 pound for pound fighters. Yeah.
Kavaliauskas is a 16-1 underdog.
16
Wow.
to 1.
Yeah,
wow.
16.
Gonzalo said it. Wow. But listen, we're going to talk about that main event a little bit more as we go along. I don't know if we're going to start talking about the main event, the undercard. I suppose we'll improvise as we go along. We also have Stu on the line. Stu, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yep. We can hear you.
I'm using my phone. This is the first time I've ever used my phone. I usually use my computer. Computer stopped fucking working.
Oh, come on. You just bought that this year, no?
Exactly.
I've put into the place they're going to fix it for me, but right now I'm having to use this phone.
You know what, Stu? You know what I think it is? I think you've got
Stu,
a poltergeist.
stop buying Commodore 64s, man.
Nah, it's all them bloody viruses I'm getting from the porn sites.
Probably.
It's also possible you get a poltergeist in your house and it's messing with your electronics. Because I remember
you got to remember, I live in an old house, so there's probably many people that have died here.
Exactly. Sure. Many people have died in autoerotic asphyxiation accidents. There's a lot of those.
You never know, man. You might recognise his granddad might be chilling here as well.
All right. Saint Brit says that the phone sounds better.
So, yeah, I was gonna say that.
Well, maybe.
Well, I got a good phone, didn't I?
Well, I don't know, man. Yeah. I'll take your word for it.
I've got half decent phone. My computer, it's good computer as well, but it's always better on the phone, isn't it? Better mics.
Well, listen. Speaking of great products, I think tonight's card. You're gonna stay up for that card, right, Stu?
I can't find the fucking thing anywhere on the TV. Where is it? I mean, this fight's that important. The British TV have not even snapped it up. I mean, if I'm wrong, someone in the chat, please tell me, because I'm looking through my channels here and I can't find it anywhere. I mean, even Box Nation, the lowest of the low, haven't even got it on.
Oh, Box Nation, the lowest of the low.
Well, come on now. I mean,
you know, like Steve Boxy,
well, they don't even charge you anymore. I mean, there's just garbage on there. They don't even show. I mean, they should have put this on. Where's the fight in the UK? I want to see this fight, Commey.
Somebody in the chat who lives in the UK and knows about this, please let us know. Yeah. By the way, people, this fight is in Madison Square Garden, the mecca of boxing, and they struggle. They're still struggling, probably selling tickets. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's get back to that. You said that there's this is as far as I know, it was the American fight for Crawford, which didn't do well. either on pay-per-views or I think even in attendance. Now this
Yeah.
fight again against a guy that, nobody really wants to see him fight, New York, ESPN, and you're saying it's not selling well.
That's right. Bob Arum says that the ESPN, the views and subscriptions for ESPN, ESPN Plus, and all that's fine. The only problem is the ticket sales. He says like if the fight would have taken place in Omaha, Nebraska, that would have that's where he's from, right? Nebraska, right?
Mhm.
Crawford.
Yeah.
He said like they would have sold pretty quickly, whatever. But then again, when they fight over there, the prices are cheaper though, and obviously they know who Crawford is.
Right.
Madison Square Garden. I mean, this is a fucking mismatch, and the prices are a little bit more expensive. So it's reasonable that people are not going to be willing to spend some money on a complete mismatch. But I don't understand because the undercard's pretty, so that should be an incentive for some people
Well,
to go to the Garden.
You have to understand one thing.
That-
It's the sorry Gonzalo, just real quick. It's the holiday season. People are spending money on gifts. They're probably going to travel to see family and all that. If you can pocket some money and watch something on TV, I think that's what people are going to choose to do instead of seeing a fight, which, as you said, the odds are, very wide. So why?
No,
spend
you're
money
right. I
to-
just thought about it. I mean, the Crawford can fight, that was a pay-per-view, and it was garbage. So
Mhm.
now you have Crawford again in a main event in a mismatch this time. Nah, people are not gonna fucking show up.
Yeah, but that's a good point because Teofimo Lopez is from New York and he's a co-main. So he could we could have it to where if this were the main event, it should still be selling. But maybe, I don't know, like BDA says that because it's Christmas.
It could be Christmas, but listen again. Crawford can garbage
Um,
fight.
And by the way,
Crawford, he's getting this reputation. By the way, that's how I feel.
yeah, it's
Like
true.
Crawford, it's nothing you want to go and watch.
You know what? I'm surprised. Like you said, I'm surprised they didn't do it in Omaha. That's usually where they fight. But again, like Gonzalo said, you got Teofimo Lopez from New York, so that's probably why they've decided to do this in New York. But
And Conlan, you get the Irish.
oh yeah, Conlon, of course. Can't believe I forgot Conlon. I mean,
Listen,
yeah, it is what it is. But here's my thing. Like you said, this is the second time Crawford is. First of all, also Crawford, we got to put the blame on him. He doesn't really do a lot of press. Steve Kim has talked about it, how the guy doesn't really talk to reporters because he feels they slighted him at some point when they were reporting on some sort of brawl that he got into outside of a rim shop, apparently. And also he's not the best personality out there. Even he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and usually I've talked about this before, the Joe Rogan effect, where people go on his podcast and all of a sudden they get a boost in notoriety. Terence Crawford went in there, and like Andy Ruiz, it was dull. He had nothing to say. It was his trainer that was doing the talking for him. So I mean, it's partly his fault too that he's not better known.
Flexible foamed balsa wood.
What'd you say?
That's basically. I said inflexible foamed balsa wood. That's what he is. I mean, you'd get better conversation out of that. I mean, let's be real. Personality is not his strongest point, but he's a very good fighter. It's just he doesn't. I think he's got it in him. I just don't think he can be bothered.
I think that's the you've hit the nail on the head. I don't. He doesn't care. He really doesn't care. He's making good money from this.
that's
even
why
though
he doesn't care.
Yeah.
He has security, like let's call it job security, right? Because he has this contract with Bob Arum where he will get paid. But he's not thinking long term, or maybe even legacy wise. Like you said, he doesn't care about those things. He's getting paid, so he's comfortable.
Well, it's interesting because when we did that episode, where we're grading fighters and giving them either a fail, a pass, or a honor roll, I think we put Crawford on the pass, right? Or was it fail? I forget. But the point
It
is,
was on the fail.
it was on the fail. Huh? I think, yeah.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
It's interesting because this year, what did he do? He fought Khan, and it was like a ruined orgasm. The fight ended on the guy ended up quitting. There was no finality to it. There was no catharsis to it. Now he's taking on Egidijus Kavaliauskas, who didn't look all that hot again.
Mandatory.
Yeah, man. But again, I mean, this is
It's
the second year.
mandatory. What do you want?
I want him to make an effort and try to get some of the guys from the PBC. I mean, who's at fault here? Who's at fault? Is it the PBC or
First
is it
of
Terence
all,
Crawford?
Jonathan Viclu in the chat says, "How is Crawford a boring boxer?" Did anybody here say he was boring, or somebody in the chat?
I think the
Well,
Fight Scout said.
Well, he said it himself. If they asked him, what are you willing to do to make your fights exciting? Are you willing to like mix it up there more inside the ring? He says, "No, I'm going to do what it takes to win. I'm not all about taking that punishment." And he hangs out with Andre Ward. They have the same mentality.
Oh god.
They rather box.
Hey, listen, I'd tell you what, right? I'd rather him hang around with Andre Ward than I would Tank Davis and Adrian Broner.
That's a good
sort
point.
of catch Spence.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah, but
know,
my
very good
point
point.
is, they're about.
Yeah, but it can't do him any harm hanging around with a guy like. All right, Andre Ward's not a great name on this show. People don't like him because the way he did Kovalev, but as a person, as a world champion, and the way he conducts himself, he's a good guy, man. And
He's 32 years old. He's a grown man. I don't expect him to be hanging around with the Geronte Tank Davises of the world. What I'm trying to say, he'd rather avoid taking punishment.
Isn't Adrian Broner 30 years old? He hangs around with Tank Davis.
Yeah,
but
but
Stu's
he's
right.
a piece
He's
of
always
shit.
no. But Andre Ward has always acted like that. It wasn't like when he was 20 something, he was a rebel or whatever, and getting in trouble. And now he changed. He's always been the same type of person.
Yeah, but neither has Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford's a good guy, yeah, like Sue's saying.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
what I was trying to say is he'd rather box than go in there and give the crowd an exciting fight. If he has to mix it up, he won't. He'd rather resort to making it a points win because he said it himself. We've seen that.
You know what? Let's stick to the issue of whether Crawford is an entertaining fighter. I've maintained for a long time now that he's actually a pretty good fighter. I mean, entertaining fighter. Because, okay, we got to back up a little bit here. First of all, hold on a second. Give me 2 seconds. All right. We have Terence Crawford. Look at the last couple of opponents. First of all, I made the case that his last 2 years have been awful. His best win was Victor Postal, and that was in 2016. It's coming into 3 years ago, okay? But at least the guys that he fights that are subpar, guys like John Molina Jr., Diaz, Indongo, Jeff Horn, Benavides, Amir Khan, look at this. He stopped everybody since he fought Postal. And what I like about him is when he fights guys like Dirigeant and like Felix Diaz, he actually starts walking them down. He's not content to just, okay, let them come to me, let them open themselves up and I'll counter them. No, he actually starts walking them down at some point. And he was doing it to Amir Khan. He wasn't doing it to Benavides. He actually caught him at the end there. And against Jeff Horn, he started out boxing and then he started walking him down. So I will disagree with people that say that he's boring. He can certainly be boring. Against Postal, he was kind of boring. And
I think the problem with Crawford is, whenever you mention the name Terence Crawford, the first thing that comes to their mind is that performance against Postal. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem with Crawford. Even though he's had some decent performances after that, you just think Terence Crawford, that horrible performance against Victor Postal, where he had his chance to shine on pay-per-view, he stunk the joint out. Let's be real, Postal was even worse. That guy, I mean, that was a terrible performance. And Postal's gone on to do some good performances since. I mean, I thought, even though he lost to Josh Taylor, I thought he'd give Josh Taylor all he could handle. So it proves how good Postal is. And, I think that's the problem with Crawford. I mean, I think we just think of that fight too much. Maybe.
What about the Amir Khan fight?
Well, that's Amir Khan's fault. I don't blame Crawford for that. I blame a scam artist that scammed his way in a boxing ring that night when he had no intentions of trying to win the fight. He was scared from the minute the fight was made. Shook to his boots, he was in the build. And no, man, that was just that was Amir Khan conning his last big paycheck out of a Western country.
I doubt that's his last paycheck.
The paycheck's coming his way from Saudi from now on.
Yeah.
Yes, same thing could be said about the Horn and the Indongo fight. Although he got the knockouts, they seem like, I mean, the guys didn't put their full-hearted effort as far as Horn and Indongo. He must have like really underrated power to where he can punch hard, but you can't really tell by looking at it.
Sorry, I missed what you said. Who has better power than he shows?
Terence Crawford. He doesn't strike me as a power puncher. He's been able to get guys out of there, like you said, BD. He's knocked out Benavidez, Horton, and Dongo. Like Stu was saying, they were less than impressive performances when they faced Crawford. But I mean, Crawford still was able to get him out of there. And like, but you know what I mean. They didn't look like they were trying.
You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, but the problem with the Ndongo performance, yes, he did look good against Ndongo, but Ndongo's been getting his ass whooped ever since. Do you know what I mean?
Nobody cares.
The win's looking worse every time Ndongo fights.
Same thing with Horn. He's been getting his ass whipped ever since as well. Yep.
It's interesting that. Well, by the way, so sorry. Hold on a second. It says, Stu. It says. According to the independent.co.uk, it says the fight will be shown live on ESPN in the United States. No broadcaster in the United Kingdom has picked up the fight. However, you can legally stream the fight for $14.99. That's about £11 using Fight TV.
Really? Well, yeah. I'll pass that on to someone that gives a shit.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, what's going on?
£11, man.
BT Sports didn't pick it up. Sky Sports didn't pick it up. Who's the other provider out there for sports in the UK?
Box Nation.
Box Nation, yeah. Like okay, yeah. That's the one that Stu said didn't even pick it up. So that's about it there. And but okay, let's keep talking.
Box Nation. Yeah. I really spell you cleverly again, don't I? Or Walsh versus Williams, and get out, rubbish. Yeah. I don't know how that's still on the telly. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I'm not once have I looked at that program and thought, yeah, I really want to watch that. There's just nothing on no more. This is a channel that used to have all the top fights. I don't know what's on. That's the Zone and Sky of. Well, mind you, BT now run Box Nation. They own Box Nation, but you think they'd do something with it?
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
Well, it is what it is, man. And by the way, going back to the whole thing about Crawford's punching power, it's interesting, Bucho, didn't you were telling me that a couple of days ago about Crawford, because I told you that the guy hits hard, and you said, yeah, but he sort of slaps with his shots. So you wonder how much harder he could punch.
No, I think he could punch harder if he threw some of those hooks properly. He overextends and the elbow, it's like a slap. But the thing is, he's fighting welterweight, so and even before that, he was fighting even smaller guys, so he was able to take them out. My issue is that if he starts moving up in weight and doesn't change his the way he throws his punches, he might not have enough power to get those guys out of there.
Well, you know what?
But don't get me wrong, he's a good boxer. People are gonna start saying, "Oh, you're saying Crawford is a bomb?" Of course not. Just saying, he kind of slaps.
I don't think Terence Crawford could go up another weight. He'll get back. He'll get hurt.
He said he's going up to 160. He's skipping 154, going to 160.
He's fucking desperate. Listen, all right. Talking about that shit, this interview with IFL.
He's a massive 147 guy. To be honest, you don't look massive at 147. So
I'll tell you what, though, before Butcher, don't forget that you were going to say something about IFL. I think Crawford. I think Crawford's actually pretty adept at moving up. I think he's a perfect fighter who can move up through. He's already moved up 3 weight divisions. He's in his 3rd weight division now because he can box.
It's like saying Lomachenko should move up again. All of us know that that's a bad move for Lomachenko. Going to 140 at his size against them guys, terrible move. I'm telling you, the guy can. Even though Lomachenko's the best for me, he's gonna have real problems in that division because he's overdone his. And I think with Crawford, you've got to make your act go in your favour. And I think if Crawford starts giving his attribute to size, reach, and everything else, and power, because let's be real, Crawford's very sloppy in the pocket. He hangs around too long. His punches are wild. He gets caught by one of these big guys that could be around 170 pounds on the night.
You know what?
He's going to be in big trouble.
By the way, Pete is saying, I'm driving through Montgomery, Alabama right now. If you guys want to see the stuff on the live stream, send me a link, Butcher. All right, I'm going to send Pete a link just to watch that, because maybe if you're down there in Alabama, maybe you can track down Old Pappy. And
exactly. Old Pappy's from that area, I believe.
Yeah. Get him on camera.
But you know what? Pete's going to get an autograph off Deontay Wilder. That's where he's going.
Yeah, that's why he went. Yeah. That's why he went all the way down there.
Just real quick. Birmingham, Alabama. Oh no, he's moved now, isn't he? Where does he live now? Somewhere else in Alabama now.
Remember when I kidnapped in a Hick town or something? Fucking chainsaw massacre over there.
Remember when I asked
Claw massacre.
remember when I asked Apology Man to do a Alabama accent, and all he said was, "I'm from Alabama. I'm from Alabama." It's like, what? He sounded like he was singing.
That's the worst
He was the
Alabama
worst. Yeah, that was.
accent ever, man.
But real quick, I
Yeah, I
wanted
was
to say
gonna
something.
say that.
Apologies
Coogan.
for that unique voice where I don't think he could do any other accents but his own. It's just a unique sound, isn't it? With Apology.
Yeah, it was a whole other thing with him. It was a whole other. He couldn't even do the
He's
accent.
a good guy when he's not
like
posing
a
in front of
gym
the mirror in the gym.
He's like, he doesn't do that, man. He doesn't do that. Anyway, I see we got recognized on the line. Recognize, are you there?
What's going on?
Hey, we're talking about Crawford and whether he can move up in weight.
Boys.
Well, we got Pete as well. He's driving
We can't
there.
see shit. It's all dark. Man. He lied.
He'll freeze up in
He's
a
like,
second.
I'll show you Alabama.
Yeah, okay, now we see it.
It's a lot of lights.
Nice.
He's on the run.
Pete is driving all the way to Alabama just to go to a gay bar, like Video in The Sopranos. He has to get away from the local mob so he can dance freely, dance the night away. Look at that, man. That's pretty. Alabama.
People in the
hang on now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
God damn it, Bucho. You should have seen this minivan running from the cops. I'm gonna take you. I'm driving right through Montgomery, and right when I first got into the state, Alabama and Mississippi right next to each other. They're short little runs. It don't take you long to get through here. Man, it's like if I didn't tell you, you know where Wilder was from. If I made you guess, you tell me if you think Wilder's from down here. This place is like a fucking war zone, man. It's hilarious.
Why is it a war zone? What's going on?
Well, it's a circus, probably because I'm trying to text doing 90 miles an hour on the interstate. That's one reason. I mean, everybody's flying. I got kids that just stole a minivan. I got me trying to text with my thumb. I'm all over the place.
Nice.
Stand by. Let me pull out. I'll get back on.
Pull over, bro. It's no worth fucking killing yourself for this show.
Yeah, well, we might get some views, but it's not.
Yeah. Just put the camera in the front so we can see the crash. No, it's not a good thing to do, bro. If you don't kill yourself, you might kill someone else. So pull over, bro.
And stop drinking.
We don't encourage we don't encourage messages on your phone and talking to the BDA on at the same time.
Yeah, there was one guy that really did have an accident a long time ago. Remember?
Come on! You're talking about the caller.
He was driving and he crashed his car. He never came back on the show.
Holy fuck! Why?
Nah, he's kidding. He's kidding. It was a caller. Remember that? There was a caller.
Oh yeah, I remember. That was a fucking prank, man. Fucking prank.
I drove through Alabama before.
Me too.
I remember just saying I've never been so bored in my life.
By the way, we got Thunderdome in the chat. Apology, guys. Welcome.
Thunderdome Boxing. That's a name I haven't heard for a while. What's happening, my man?
She sent him a link.
Yeah, go
send
ahead.
him a link. Get Thunderdome on. It'd be good to speak to him. Right?
And apologies. Apologies.
And then he did a fucking Lord Lucan and disappeared. So I don't know what happened to him.
Well, he came back when you were out of the game for a while. A couple of months ago, he came back. He was there for a while.
Oh, he came back then, did he?
Yeah, he came back. And by the way, Apology in the chat room says ban Pete. Now,
I agree.
But yeah, that's the thing, Pete. If we need plays later, I don't know if you can talk while you're driving. So if ever we need a spot, maybe you can.
Yeah, I can talk. Hey,
I don't know if you can chew gum and drive at the same time.
Hey, listen, I'm not a fucking idiot. I can talk and drive at the same time. I can't text and drive at the same time. That's what I'm telling Bucho. Like, God damn it, man.
Yeah, I didn't say you were.
I'm going to go.
Blame Bucho.
Yeah, it's blame Bucho day today. People in the Discord were giving him crap over.
Funny shit, man.
All right, just make sure you don't get carjacked down there in Alabama. All right, listen.
Ain't nobody gonna carjack me. Shit.
All right, he's got a baseball bat.
Oh, he has protection.
Okay, so we were talking about Crawford. So, Bucho, you were going to say something about IFL TV?
They asked Bob Arum, okay, who is Crawford gonna fight after? What are his options?
Mhm.
Well, Sean Porter from the PBC is a viable option, but we gotta negotiate it. Blah blah blah. Like basically, I don't know why he's singling out Sean Porter, and that's the fight that he really wants. But he said that if that doesn't
I think that's
materialize,
a great. I think that's a great fight for him, Butcho. There's not a lot of options. The rest of them are cowards. They're not going to fight him. So Porter's got Porter fight anyone. You can put Porter in there, fucking Joshua, and he'll take the fight. So and let's be real. Heyman's never been worried about throwing Porter to the lions. He's been doing it his whole career. I mean, he's just one fighter. He's just not really cared too much about. He's always the B side there to get beaten and boost profiles, but he just keeps proving everyone wrong. I think Terence Crawford would have more than he can handle on the night. If he comes through that, then very good win for him. You know, because Spence, a lot of people think he beat Spence, so we can, it's a nice little gauge for us to see where these two guys are when it comes to fighting a man like Sean Porter. So yeah, good fight for me. Crawford doesn't have any options.
Guys, what do you think about this? Then Bob Arum went on to say, if that fight doesn't materialize, we're looking at the 140 pounders that are moving up. Regis Prograis. We had a conversation with him this year.
All right, Butcher, that voice is creepy, man. You're creeping me out with the voice.
And then they said Josh Taylor, but they said that they haven't talked to him yet, but they would really like to. So what do you guys think about those fights?
I don't see Josh Taylor moving up to 147 yet. Why would you just unify? I think he's going to go after Ramirez's belt. He's going to want Ramirez before he goes to 147. I can assure you.
Oh yeah. That fight will happen first, and both of those guys can move up eventually. Josh Taylor and Ramirez, because Ramirez and Prograis are with Top Rank. Those would be in-house fights.
Do you guys see Regis Prograis going?
Yeah, for the money. He said it himself. For the money, he will.
Prograis might do. I could see him taking that risk for the right price. But you know, this is going to be a problem for Crawford, man. This is going to be his career, especially even if he moved up to 154. He's still dealing with PBC fight.
The thing is with Prograis, I recognise. You know because me and you've always been saying about Crawford with his wide punches and the way he hangs around too long. Yep. Prograis he's very good at straight punches. I think that and he's very busy. Prograis as well. He's constantly throwing his hands. I mean, some of them are just pitter patter shots and range find. Some of them have also got a bit of sting on him, and he mixes his power up a little bit. And I think he could be horribly wrong for Crawford. I may be wrong, but I got a feeling he could be.
He could be, man. If Crawford could make it hard for himself, Crawford's gonna have to do one of AJ's moves. Just fucking play it safe, straight punches down the middle, and move out. He's capable of doing that.
Like
The problem with him is that he sometimes lacks that discipline, and he goes for the big punches, and like you said, he stays around too long, and he's open.
Yeah, but you know what? If there was one guy that I know could go over from the PBC over and play around with the Top Rank, it's Sean Porter, because he said, first of all, he's the guy that's fought everybody, and he's the one that's been vocal about the PBC's lack of preferential treatment.
Sean Porter's the ultimate warrior, bro. He's like, whatever. Yeah, I'll fight him.
Yes.
Damn right.
That's Porter, man. He doesn't give a fuck.
Hey, listen, guys, we got Jimmy on the line, and we got Thunderdome Boxing as well.
Oh,
guys,
what up,
Hello.
man?
What's up, Frank? Thank you, Bucho, for letting me on. How's everyone doing?
What's up,
Yo,
Jimmy?
what's up, Jimmy?
Oh, and Stu. What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Haven't talked to you in a couple of years, man.
I know, man. It's good to see you back, my bro.
Yeah.
It's good to see you back.
Yeah, same here. I've listened to some of your videos, recently. Yeah.
That's the way. But, yeah, it's good to have you back, man, because I did used to watch a lot of your stuff. So, and I don't really watch a lot of boxing channels, Some of them I can't. They make me sick to my stomach just listening to them.
Yeah, same here.
You're one of the guys I can listen to, so it's good to have you on, man. Good to have you on.
This is like when Arnold Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers see each other again at the beginning of Predator.
Oh, we gotta flex on us.
Yeah,
Right,
flexing.
exactly.
I knew one of you guys were going to say something like that.
Oh,
Just get
shit.
fucking-
Just get a
Son of a
room, guys. You son. I should have said it, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But listen, we got a nice little fight, a nice little card tonight, and we're talking about Terence Crawford and whether because you know what, guys, here's the problem with Terence Crawford right now. He's in the same position that Bernard Hopkins was in the mid '90s to early 2000s. De La Hoya didn't want to fight him. Trinidad didn't want to fight him. They were at welterweight. Vargas was taking care of his own stuff at 154. None of the other titleists at middleweight wanted to fight him. So he had to fight these tough guys like Anton Eccles, Robert Allen. And he had to get up for those guys. Those guys, it was a title shot for them, so they were plenty motivated. And it's the same thing with Terence Crawford right now. Most people aren't giving him credit for beating guys like Benavidez or right now Kavaliauskas. But those guys started coming in here at 120%. He has to keep staying motivated to fight those guys. So he's in a bit of a hard place right now. Is it fair to say that he needs to do something impressive to erase the bad taste of 2019 and especially that Amir Khan
Just for
fight?
confidence, bro. Just for confidence alone, because I've always been saying on this show, you can get dragged down to the level. You keep fighting bums. I'm not saying these guys were bums, but if you keep fighting guys levels below you, they start dragging you down to their level, and you get stuck in a gear. So, and then when you have to dig deep, and you're in there with a lion that's bringing it, you just fucking stuck in a gear, and that's when it can cost you. So you have to keep fighting good opponents. You have to keep being sharp. You know, keep being hungry. And once you lose that sharpness, that hungriness, all things can happen to you. So, yeah, he's in a bit of a bad place at the moment with Top Rank because there's not a lot of guys over there that he can fight. So maybe Sean Porter would be the only option for me.
Well, yeah, I mean, somebody wants to say something.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. It's hard to switch gears, man, when you're fighting guys that are levels below you. Although I think I think boxing fans are sleeping a little too much on Kavaliauskas. Even though
That's right.
I think Crawford should win this fight. He might win it impressively, but I agree with Stu. You know, once you keep fighting lower level comp, and when it's time to fight the A-level guys that are close to you, you know, you might be stuck in that gear, and it's hard to get out of it, man.
I want to say one thing real quick. I'm pretty sure I agree with everyone that I think we all think that Odie, shut up, sorry, that Crawford's gonna pull it out. But Kavaliauskas looked amazing throughout camp and really even at the weigh-in, and he's gonna be a lot bigger on fight night. You gotta realize that. If he can, put on one of his better performances, he's a damn good bet to take. Honestly, for like the underdog, I think he's like plus 240. But I think like 8 out of 10 times Crawford's going to win this fight, though. Did anyone notice Crawford's belly, like a little fatter than usual? Not like fat, like he was still ripped, but puffed out more?
I know.
Anyone notice? You notice that?
Full of water by the sound of it.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I was curious. Yeah.
But that's a sign. That's a sign of cutting corners in camp straight away.
Yeah, it might be.
It's interesting because they're almost the same size. The Kavaliauskas is 1 inch taller at 5'9", but Kavaliauskas got 71-inch reach while Crawford got 74. Although Crawford's 1 inch shorter, Kavaliauskas got. Although Crawford is 1 inch shorter, Crawford's got a 3-inch reach advantage.
Jesus.
Yes, it's quite a lot.
Oh, geez,
I don't think the Amir Khan fight did him any favours. He's just wasted a training camp on him, wasted momentum. I mean, what's the point of fighting Amir Khan? The guy's done. The guy's done, man. So I think he wasted his time with that fight. And now I think he's trying to get the momentum back. He's struggling to get it at the moment. So maybe this fight he can put on a good performance because I think he needs to. I really do. Because I thought he was poor against Benavidez.
Hey, I don't see that much of I see a six-pack on Terence Crawford. Or maybe he's got... I only have one picture from...
No, yeah. I was saying he's definitely, like, still ripped. Like, he has a six-pack and everything. He's still shredded down there, but it seems just, like, pushed out. Like, normally it's, like, really thin waist. But it just seems like he's bloated or something.
Yeah,
do you see that?
Taking in a lot of fluid, does you think?
I don't know. Before the weigh-in,
Before the weigh-in, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, this was before the weigh-in. So I
It's
didn't realize
at the weigh-in. I mean, it's at the weigh-in.
Okay, I didn't realize that.
It wasn't like insane bloating, but normally his stomach's pretty.
His
You know,
organs are
a lot.
growing.
Maybe his organs are growing. Yeah.
and
Like
maybe
I
he's
said, but maybe that's proof that he probably isn't a big 147 guy. Like I said earlier. I mean, if
Well,
he's
there's
going
always this picture.
and he's still making weight.
Well, he came at the limit, right?
But everybody says that he's much bigger than what he seems to be, because there's this picture of Crawford. Remember, it came out like 2 years ago or a year ago, whatever. He was weighing it at 170 something. Remember?
Yeah.
I don't buy that for a
Come on,
second.
yeah, but the thing is, you could get fucking a 5'2" guy to weigh 190 pounds. It depends what shape he's keeping in. You know, there's this.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
I
But he
wouldn't
wasn't
take
like
too much-
Ricky Hatton. Fuck, you know what I mean?
I mean, we're talking about an athlete that's in training camp and what the sort of shape he's in at that time. And Crawford, for me, although it looks like he's a big, I don't think he is a big 147 guy. And I think that's why I don't think his performances are as good as they were at 140, because I don't think his attributes are coming in to affect as much, because let's build these guys a lot bit bigger. I mean, he might be taller than him. I think he's got a bit of a Deontay Wilder sort of body where he just dangly and long sort of thing. But
Yeah, I kind of agree.
as for frame and power,
Yeah.
and stuff, I don't.
I think it'll be hard for him to like put on much more weight. Actually,
Yeah,
kinda
I
like,
said this is his limit for me.
I'm
He's not
curious-
really tall. He's just got long arms, 74-inch reach.
Yeah, he's got orangutan arms. This guy, he's got some weird looking. I think it's his forearms that are actually the longer part. I mean, he's got unusually long
That's-
forearms.
Wilder does as well, doesn't he? Wilder has
Yeah.
ridiculous.
It's what I call
So-
it's what I call the pervert arms, because it's especially good for reaching, those special parts in the subway. Jimmy, I wanted to ask you, man. I'm curious. What do you think about Terence Crawford? Because I don't think I've ever heard you tell us what you think of Crawford as a fighter. Jimmy, are you there, man? No, I can't hear him. He's probably. I think he's
Hey, by the
probably
way,
got. Yes.
Bob Arum said that according to a very reliable source, Spence is not ready for an imminent return.
Oh,
Because there was this rumor. Somebody said, the PBC or somebody from there said that Spence was ready to come back summer 2020.
bullshit. That dude ain't
Yeah.
coming back for a long time.
Exactly.
If ever.
the
Bob
only thing
Arum
in his
said,
future.
listen, there haven't been any pictures. Well, I think there was one picture, but sorry, no interviews. So they don't want to
Look.
show his current state.
Look,
Yeah,
if his mouth and teeth and jaw and shit got fucked up, he can never fight again. They're gonna have to put plates or something in his jaw. It's over, right there. His career over, done.
Yeah, if he broke his
If
cheekbone,
he even needs a
Jaw
plate or
bone,
anything,
fuck.
it's over.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's very likely because they're probably gonna have to screw some shit together and put plates. I mean, I've seen too many broken bones. They love to put plates and screws.
Yeah, that's what
They fucking do, man.
The worst thing to get
I suppose he can always play Frankenstein in the next decade.
Oh, here we go. Hating the chat.
He's giving away the
that's
best
the
years
hardest-
of his career.
That's the
He's
worst
30,
thing that
his
can
prime.
happen to a fighter. Is getting anything broken any bone broken in your face, in your whole face structure. You don't want it to break there. It's obvious why, right? Because what happens if you're in a long grueling fight? What happens? You get hit a few times there. You get bruised up easier. You have more your scar tissue is more sensitive. Your everything. The bones in your face, they broken once, they could break again. It's a fucked up situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I honestly don't like it. I hate like Spence fans, obviously, but like for Spence himself personally, like I wanted to see him fight guys like Terence Crawford and other guys, even maybe move up and weight and fight some of the guys that I would have liked them to see, to see him in there with. Now this is kind of fucked up.
Hey, Transnational Inc. in the chat room says he can be the first cyborg boxer in history. He's gonna show up as a
And
monster.
Apology saying that Dos Santos from the UFC had a broken jaw, put plates in the jaw, but still fights. Okay.
Well, I mean,
But
you can recover
it's the
from
same
it.
thing from a car accident. I mean, depends on the gravity of the injury, obviously, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I
the
I mean,
thing.
is
Focus
it really
can
that
be-
bad where this guy can't fight again? Then is it that bad?
Well, nobody
Well,
knows
Bob
because
Arum
we've never.
didn't say. Bob Arum just said that it's bad, but he's then went on to say that if Spence recovers, they can get the fight done with Crawford in 1 hour.
But that's the thing. We don't even know how he's doing because this is like a Weekend at Bernie's. We've seen a photograph of him, his mugshot, but we don't actually know if he can walk. We don't know if he can talk properly. We don't know if he can move his hand. We don't know if he can make a fist. We don't know if he's got a. And like you said, Bucho, the extent of the injury to the jaw, was it just a fracture? Because I mean, that's what, in boxing, you can get a hairline fracture or something on your jaw.
Yeah, like
Did he smash something though? That's
Yeah.
the difference, in a car accident. Maybe something gets smashed to bits. I mean, we don't know.
Now, Bob Arum said that he was in talks with him in early 2019 for a 2020 fight
Yeah, right.
between Crawford and Spence.
I don't believe
Yeah,
that.
well, what if he's got a spinal injury and he can't turn his punches? 'Cause that's where he gets his power, turning his hooks.
If
the
he's
body.
got a spinal injury, turning his punches will be the last thing on his mind.
Well, look
I
at Mike
broke my
Tyson.
back.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
Tyson when he said after the
That-
ATM fight.
Walking again will be a nice thing. Do you know what I mean? So, if it's as bad as you lot are saying, then I don't.
Real quick question. I need information. There were early reports that one of his arms was all fucked up. Has that been disproven, or what's the deal with that?
I had never heard of that. See, I don't know. There's a lot of rumors going around. Maybe that was a rumor, but maybe it's true.
No one else even heard that?
No.
Just in the picture, some guy is like, it looks like he's helping him stand up straight, like he's propping him up. He's holding to his
I've
arm.
heard rumors that he died.
Go on.
Heard a rumor
I'm
I
just being
died,
honest with you.
murdered in cold blood, homicide.
Yeah. What I'm saying, you don't have to have a life-threatening injury like the guy that fought Jacobs. What's his name? The Russian guy that got a back injury. You can still walk and be fine, but if you can't really turn your punches over, because that's like the core of where you get your power from.
Well, Jacobs.
The guy that beat Jacobs, he knocked him out.
Pirog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, imagine you or Fernando Vargas, something like that. Some career ending injuries that are not life threatening, but just little things that just don't allow you to compete at the high level.
Yeah.
Okay, but wait, it can't be as bad as we think it might be, because Bob Arum his source would have told him, listen, this guy's not coming back. His source just told him it's bad,
mate.
but you know what I mean?
That don't mean nothing, mate. He could come out like Christopher Reeves, and Bob Arum would still want him in the ring. Do you know what I mean? So,
That's a good point.
Yeah, look at who's the guy he put in there back in the day that broke his neck? That wasn't him. That was main events, but still, Pazienza. No, not Paz. Not Paz.
William.
No. The other Italian kid from New England.
Neck was back.
Yeah, he broke it.
Italian?
Yeah, he's an
Wayne
Italian.
Rooney, the movie they made with Wayne Rooney. What's it?
They did make
Kevin
a movie.
Rooney.
Damn, how can no one remember? Yeah, he trained him.
Wayne Rooney, he's a footballer.
Kevin Rooney.
We can remember
Rooney.
Kevin Rooney trained him
Rooney.
Yeah.
on his comeback. Oh my God, what was his name?
Vinny Pazienza. Was it Vinny Pazienza?
It
That's
wasn't
in the
Paz. No, it wasn't Paz. Oh well.
What about Margarito?
But he came back and fought, and then did really good, real good.
Oh.
No one in the chat even put it. No one knows it.
Wayne
I gotta-
Rooney, somebody's laughing.
I got a quick question for the chat though. Who and you guys? Who do you think is better? I think they could actually fight both at 147 like anytime they wanted. But people have been. I saw this conversation online. Teofimo Lopez or Virgil Ortiz. I think Virgil Ortiz is a much better fighter. I think even put him in a ring together and they'll beat the shit out of Lopez. But what are you guys thinking?
Virgil Ortiz for me.
Oh, I thought you said
Never
Lopez.
been
I
on
was
the
like,
hype train of.
Well, Virgil Ortiz or Lopez, Teofimo Lopez. Which one do you think is a better fighter at this stage?
go ahead, Stu.
I just told you I've never been a massive fan of Teofimo Lopez. I think he loses that one. The hype trains, I just haven't jumped on it yet. I've not seen what everyone else seems to be seeing. And we can all look good knocking over butts. It's when someone actually starts throwing butts. That's how, and I still think he's better than what we saw the last time he fought.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It was Vinny Paz, Thunderdome. It was Vinny Paz.
Was it really Paz?
Yes.
yeah.
Huh. Wow, he looks so much different now. When he always wears them little Kango hats backwards. Yeah, he just looks so much different. I was thinking that can't be him, but yeah, I guess it was then, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. Ortiz definitely. He's impressive. He's a solid guy, and he's only 21 to me. They're both good, but Ortiz looked really impressive.
Yeah,
All right,
Ortiz looks
I'll
like
give you
a
four
blue
names.
chipper to me.
4 names. Teofimo, that are boxers that are on the same age. Teofimo Lopez, Virgil Ortiz, Devin Haney, and Jaime Munguia. Which one's the best out of those 4?
I still think Virgil Ortiz
Not
is the
Jaime
best.
Munguia. It's definitely not Jaime Munguia.
No.
I think Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, I have to say Virgil Ortiz. Man.
I'd put my money on him to have the best career. Put it that way.
Yeah, he looked very defensively responsible. Always kept his hands high. He's got that knockout power. Very intelligent. He's
Very
long and ranging.
strong.
Very
Yep.
strong. He kept the guy in the corners, in the 4 corners of the ring. He kept pulling him, hitting him from pillar to post. He had him trapped in the corners.
Yeah,
he got the
like
basics
Clubber Lang.
down pat.
Clubber Lang style. I love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You telling me that Mikey Garcia will survive 12 rounds against Virgil Ortiz? No, this guy's big at 147.
Yeah, he would crush Mikey. Come on.
Hey,
Yeah,
Gonzalo,
that's the difference between. Yes.
is it me or does he remind you a little bit of what was that Mexican dude that fought Jose Luis Castillo? Tall, lanky.
Morales. Eric
No.
Morales is who he reminds me of.
Really?
Eric
With that punch
Castillo.
style, that 1-2.
Jose Luis, the Mexican guy who fought Castillo.
What?
Hold on a
Corrales.
second. No,
You
not
talking about
Corrales.
Morales?
By the way, sorry, there's a lot of background noise. Please mute your mics, guys, if there's too much noise, because otherwise, remember, there's people that are going to be listening to this on the speaker. But no, it was hold on, I'm looking at the name of the guy. It was another long, lanky guy, very
Juan
strong.
Lascano.
No. It's Cesar Bazan.
Cesar Bazan, yeah.
He's got the same type of build. Like he's tall, lanky. He's not cut, but man, can he whack? And
Yeah.
Bazan had 49 wins, 32 knockouts. That's what Ortiz reminds me of, but obviously better defense. And Bucha definitely, out of all those guys that you mentioned, he definitely seems to be the best prospect so far in terms of performance and in terms of quality of opposition. But listen, Teofimo Lopez, he's coming in here. This is put up or shut up time. He's taking on a puncher, a guy who's fought some good fighters. And apparently, I was reading that on the ESPN article, apparently Teofimo Lopez, it was confirmed that he had outside of the ring problems because I think his wife doesn't get along with his family, or with his father, rather. So,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, it's one of those situations where the wife gets involved, and all of a sudden it's, why are you letting your father say this? How come he gets 5% and you only get, it's, they start yapping, and all of a sudden it turns family against family. That's the way it seems to me. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be saying anything because I don't know the situation. But guys, what do you think about that?
Oh, if infighting starts like family infighting, that only leads to a bad place. 'Cause now you don't have 100% focus where it needs to be, and you absolutely have to have 100% focus going into that ring and throughout camp and the days that aren't even camp days, just regular ass days. You still got to keep focused. You can't be running around, dealing with baby mama drama. That's nuts.
Yeah, and that was.
Look at Tito Ortiz. He just did an interview with Vlad. He actually talked about this. Baby mama drama is what ruined his career.
Just quickly, Gonzalo. According to somebody in the chat, Ricardo Luna, he says his family doesn't speak to Teofimo's wife. They say she's just a gold digger. So there you have it.
Why did he marry her?
Yeah, that was just the beginning of it because right around the Nakatani fight, that's when he just got married.
That's the stupidest shit ever. You're about to become really rich and you just marry some random ass chick because she's hot and fucks good. Excuse me for swearing on her.
Probably
And by the way, this is what the article from ESPN says. It's early last August, Teofimo Lopez and his bride of 3 months boarded a flight home from Athens. It had been an idyllic Greek vacation, four-wheeling, jet skiing, and trapezing through ancient ruins. They not trapezing, traipsing. I don't even know what the word is. They watched sunsets in their bathrobes from the deck of their rooftop suite in Santorini. On his 22nd birthday, she got him a cake. So they're eating cake in the balcony. Kind of reminds me of that scene in Godfather 2 where they're eating cake with Ross. No, smaller pieces. Take the cake out so everybody can see it. Shut up. So you can see there that apparently the article says that there's trouble brewing in paradise despite their lavish vacations.
Hyman Roth's little Jewish accent.
The father seems like he's kind of crazy. He doesn't got his shit together. Like he means well for his father. He means well for his son, but he just gets a little too carried away, over anxious, overzealous.
Guys. This guy Santos Romo says Lopez talks about having anxiety attacks.
Oh, here we go. With fucking
Is that
Asian
true?
again? Fuck that. Get out of
No,
here.
he's saying fucking Teofimo Lopez talks about it.
Yeah, but he's pulling the AJ.
Or was this? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Remember that? But wait, Mel
anxiety
Gibson-
attacks are real though. That does happen. There are certain guys that can never reach the next level because of anxieties. That's a real thing. That I've seen it. Maybe I've even experienced it myself. Didn't even realize it. But
David Price is a prime example of a man that basically takes half his chance away from winning the minute he steps in the ring because the nervous energy, the anxiety, he just freezes up and there's just no rhythm in his fight. Just nervous. I mean, when you're that size, you've got to save every bit of energy you got. And after a while, he starts to flag, and that's when fighters start to take over. That is a guy that he punches hard enough. He's got the basic skills, bronze medal in the Olympics. So he's just anxiety and nerves has been his major problem, and that's why he sleeps most of the time when he gets fucking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could be mental.
Yeah, let's see his girl. Let's see his girl.
Yeah,
There
can I just say something in the chat? Mel Gibson is saying getting married at 22.
Mel Gibson.
Getting married at 22 is a sequel to Shane Mosley Gold Digger Part 2. Remember Mosley's wife, that Asian one? She took his belt. She took his belt. What are you gonna do with the belts? Like you can buy them on fucking Amazon, man.
Women are spiteful.
And how can the courts allow that though? I mean, this is the guy.
Well, California. It's
America.
No, it's California especially.
Yeah.
California, you marry a chick,
you're done.
She basically owns you.
Yep, you're done.
You finish.
And he married her there.
Oh, Jesus.
Should have married her in Mexico.
He should have said, listen, we're going to Nebraska.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Mexico.
Or Mexico.
Yeah.
And by the way,
she's not too bad. I mean, she's not too bad. I mean,
she's okay.
Can you
She's
zoom in?
a good-looking girl. I mean, the guy's young. He's
she's fucking average.
Like that,
22.
Listen. There's one thing bagging a chick, and then there's another thing fucking marrying her. There's it's like
she's a cool chick to date for a little bit. That's it.
Right there you go.
Hey, can I ask why? Can I ask why they're?
Yeah, it's more than a one-nighter, but not fucking marriage.
Can I ask why they're grinding during their marriage? I mean, look at it during the ceremony. Isn't that a little bit?
They're stuck in the lust stage. She fucking simped him out. She simped him out so goddamn hard. She played him like a fiddle.
Hey, by the way,
that's why his father hates her. I would too if some bitch played my son like a fiddle.
How tall is this Asian girl? The one that's always interviewing people? Look at that.
Like a Nephilim. Well, I think she has like
fucking Amazon giant.
Jeez. Yeah, could you imagine?
You know what? I give him a break. This is why. He's 22.
Dude.
This is the reason why he's 22 years old. You know what he's trying to be? He's trying to be everything. He's trying to be the best fuck partner she's ever had. The best
I did not
boyfriend she's
marry
ever had.
somebody in prison.
He's gotta be everything, and he's gonna come up short. That's
Wait a
what's
minute.
An
gonna happen.
upstanding
minute.
man. So an upstanding young man.
Recognize, are you saying she does everything?
No, I don't listen. But this is what I'm saying.
She better.
Teofimo is trying to be everything to her, and he's gonna fail. Right? He's trying to be the best fuck partner she's had, and on top of that, her best boyfriend. No,
He's trying to make everybody happy.
At 22, you're not gonna be both. You're either gonna be either one. You just gotta accept it.
Doing some psychoanalysis.
Don't you think though? Don't you think marriage is a good thing for a boxing career? I mean, just
Yeah.
keep up.
Tell that to Mike Tyson.
No.
Tell that to
No.
Mike
Listen,
Tyson.
look, I'm not a man. I'm not an advocate for marriage here because I've never been married. No,
It
I've never
depends
watched it.
on the woman. If she's like an old school 1950s American housewife, yeah. But if not, then no.
See, that's how I like them. I like them old school.
Hell yeah.
The girl I'm seeing at the moment, she's
You can't marry these new school bitches. They'll fuck
not
you up.
old school.
Hell
Look,
yeah.
old school in their ways. I don't want one of these fucking feminists that's going to start sticking their chest out. You know what I mean? Fuck. Swearing.
Piss her off
Swearing.
the right way, and she's fucking you for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so if Teofimo loses tonight, he can blame it on his wife?
Well, I mean, what's
No.
going on there? Are they breaking up?
No, I don't know.
No, he better divorce her now while he has nothing or little money for the big money.
By the way, whoever says that marriage is good for a boxer, I think you haven't seen Raging Bull. I mean, you look at that, 3 marriages, and it's.
And I say all this not out of.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. You know what? Look at Manny Pacquiao. He marries a woman who.
But look at the woman. It's not
Right,
Manny. It's
exactly.
the
That's what I'm
woman.
trying to
make
say.
sure
Yeah,
that
but
you
let's be
ask
real. I
about
mean,
it
I think
last time.
Jake LaMotta was always going to be a disaster, wasn't it? You know.
The guy was a walking disaster. He was a walking
Yeah, that's what I'm
disaster.
saying. Listen, apologies in the chat, pulling his hair out because I said that comment. I'm not saying for the. Listen, I'm not saying for the average guy who's walking down the street that's fucking barely surviving, you know, to go and get married and give all his money away. I'm not saying that. But with Terence, I think with fighters, I think sometimes when they're married, it just keeps them out the clubs. It keeps them away from.
Keep him out of trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sort of gives them an incentive to get out of bed and do that 6-mile run in the morning to look after their family. When you've got fucking no one to feed but yourself, that's when you start getting selfish, and that's when you start getting corners in camp, and that's when careers go down here. So for me, I'm not saying for the average Joe to go and get married, but I think if you want to make a successful career, I mean, most of the top guys have always got to been married.
Listen, if you're going out with a girl that loves to go out,
It's over. It's over.
You should not marry her. You should be her fuck buddy. That's it.
Yep.
Somebody who fucks her, goes out with her, have a good time with her. That's it.
That's right. You want a girlfriend that's going to cook you nice food and stay in with you. You don't want ones that are going to drag you to the nightclub.
Look,
she's
girl
going
wants
out
girl wants to go
She
out
can't
and
make
pretty.
cheese and toast.
If she's clubbing, she's
Yeah.
absolutely fucking.
Listen, here's the thing. When you try to wife up a girl who's out there going out and having a good time, she's gonna see you as the fallback guy, and then she's gonna look for somebody else who could accept her for who she is.
I mean,
Yeah,
look, we give
Or she's just going to drive the car till the wheels fall off and hope you're still there. And if not, get a simp to take care of her.
Oh,
To be fair, though, when you look at Timothy Bradley's wife, I mean, she's his manager. She took hold of his career.
Great woman.
She's a good woman, man, and she's looked after him. She's made sure he got paid well, and she's looked after his money. That's why Timothy Bradley was a successful man.
And his
He's made
health.
more money. But even
Yeah,
we
but look
give
at the price he had to pay. Sorry.
Yeah, but we give Nonito Donaire some stick on this show for being a bit of a simp. But Rachel Donaire's been good for his career. You know, you don't see Nonito Donaire crashing Ferraris and being coked up in interviews, do you? So
Yeah.
I think it's a good way forward. It's for the longevity of your career, I think. I mean,
But
when
also-
you're a young guy, I'm not saying go and get married at 22. But
Stu, are you saying you would bang Bradley's wife?
okay, come on. No. We're not gonna go there, man.
Come
We're
on,
not
man.
gonna go there.
Yeah, that's
We're
different.
talking about it as a business sense.
She's a good woman.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Stu, I got it.
Yeah.
She's a good.
But also,
me personally, I've never been in that situation, and I probably never ever will. hook up with a chick that had kids from another man. That would never happen.
Yeah, look, I never been there either.
Oh well,
Never
you reckon?
will.
No, don't move to England because you won't find one of them.
Oh, come on.
But also,
Wait a
since Teofimo's 22, his wife is real young. If she's not mature, she hasn't lived her life yet to where she's got the party inside her. She's not ready to settle down, and she gets all this money. She's not going to be a good influence on her. Just that's what happens when you're young.
I mean, listen, I'll tell you that the worst example for a fighter to get with. I mean, you only had to see it on the 24/7, what they're called. Mrs. Jackson, who Floyd was dating. I mean, I was watching one of the shows, right? Floyd takes her into this shop and goes, "Oh, go and pick your favourite pair." And she's she's gone around the shop. She's picked 2 pairs because she can't decide which one she likes the best. She goes, "Can I have both of them?" 25 grand each these shoes were, right? And Floyd's going, "Yeah, just have them." You know what Floyd's like, fucking showing off in front of the cameras. Take the shoes, man. And 50 Cent was there, and I remember him turning around and he said to one of the guys, "Did you see that, man?" He goes, told her to get 1 pair. She went and got 2, and basically didn't say. That's all he had to say, and it told you everything you need to know about Miss Jackson. And then them women. What's her name? Robin Givens, another one.
And her mother.
Oh,
Yeah, so
God.
Mama Givens.
Them two are a nightmare, right? Robin Givens and his mom.
Yeah, those
Robin
were...
Givens. Hey, Robin Givens was sleeping with Brad Pitt behind Mike Tyson's back.
Can you imagine being Mike Tyson and bumping into Mike Tyson? I mean,
Oh, no.
He did.
Hey, Brad Pitt said he used to have sleepless nights, man.
You see Brad Pitt walking out of his house?
No,
Yeah,
like,
he
Pucho
ran into
Camargo.
him. He was leaving their house as they were pulling in the driveway.
Yeah.
And he said he just walked past them, just looked at him and didn't do shit, got in his car and cried, he said.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
That's what Tyson
How old was Mike?
Probably like 20.
Ah, fuck. You can't blame the guy.
early 20s, probably, yeah.
At what point it was, you might have been thinking his ass. Just a pain in the ass.
I think we can hear Pete talking on the phone.
Yo, can you hear me or no?
Barely. Barely.
Barely.
Alright,
Yeah.
forget it, man.
That's that Alabama Wi-Fi, man. That Alabama Wi-Fi. Now listen, here's a interesting thing that I didn't know about. What's his name? About Teofimo Lopez's father.
who's the hot blonde?
That's
That's Linares' wife.
Who's what?
See?
Linares?
Jorge Linares.
Oh shit!
Ex-wife,
my bad.
no?
He's an
Ex-
ex-wife.
I don't know. Oh, okay.
His ex-wife. She had got a kid with them, but they're separated now.
I wanted to say something here. Apparently, Teofimo Lopez's father, when he was 17, his mother committed suicide, and his father apparently, I don't think he was even supposed to be born. I think he was a result of a fling, and so that's what Lopez's
Just say
father.
it, he's a bastard.
Oh, okay, come on.
Come on.
I didn't say that, but it's interesting. Didn't Teofimo Lopez's father? He goes around talking a lot, and I think he went over to Johnny Boy's channel, and Johnny Boy was like, "Who the fuck are you?" Because he was talking shit to him.
What?
Yeah, that's what Johnny Boy said. At some point, he was making a
Dude,
video about.
I'll say real quick, all the fighters and trainers are listening to your shit all the time. Trust me on that.
Well, they should. I mean, we got the lowdown.
They
over here.
do. Yeah, they do. Trust me. I mean, they might not talk or
I hope Joe
whatever.
Gallagher is. He might take some advice from him. Stop rambling on about nonsense and giving poor game plans. I mean, how
Let me tell you what happened there. I bet you somebody from the LDBC, because you know Johnny's always going after them, probably showed them a video of him talking about Teofimo, and that's it. That's where it started.
Wow.
I
Well, they have
bet
like
you.
2 ways.
I bet you anything that's how it started.
Who else do you want to send a message to? Another trainer you want to shout out?
What trainers?
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
listening.
I think, like I said, I think Ben Davison seriously needs to prove himself. All of a sudden, he's a tactical genius because he got a draw. I
Yeah.
mean, let's be real. If anything, he cost Fury the win in my eyes. Poor tactics.
Hey,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's funny how us at
What
the
the
BDA
fuck?
know how to.
What?
It's funny how us starting the BDA know how to fight Deontay Wilder and come with a game plan. And all of us on here are smart enough to come with a game plan against Deontay Wilder because Deontay Wilder is limited what he can do. So you know his weaknesses. I do. We all do. Ben Davison did. Ben Davison was asking Tyson, Jab at range at the distance that Wilder wants you at, so he can land that right hand. All right, he was missing most of the night, but when he did land, you see what happened.
Yeah.
He was
Hey,
a fraction,
Stu, what happened?
fraction of a second of losing that fight when he was comfortably ahead. And let's be real, that stupid act, fighting at the wrong distance, even cost him the win. It got him a draw in the end of the day. Unforgivable.
Stu.
So Ben Davison, loads to prove before I start calling him a tactical genius, that's for sure.
He's there for motivation. Go ahead, Rockaness.
No, I was gonna ask Stu, what the fuck was that? This is clip that I always see of Ben Davis at the Tyson Fury and Wilder fight. He's going up towards the ropes, and these two black guys that look like the security, they're telling him sit down. What was that about? What the fuck is that?
I didn't see that. Can you explain what happened?
Okay, so Ben Davis looks like he's trying to go up to the ropes as they're fighting, to shout something. These two guys like like really going crazy at him. Like, sit down.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to do that, are you?
Yeah, he was gonna stop the fight.
You're not allowed to actually. Really, they reckon you're not really allowed to shout instructions. You keep shouting instructions all the time.
Yeah, but that's rarely used.
Yeah,
like, that's rarely used. Like
when you're standing on, but when you're standing on the ropes, bro, leaning over and shouting, it's a bit different than sitting in the stall in the corner. Or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, that makes sense. That makes sense because that I know. But I was like, it just seemed like it was a bit harsh the way.
Listen,
he was angry because
someone tell me why
it's rarely enforced. They don't enforce that.
Someone tell me why John Fury has really fell out with Ben Davison and has got nothing good to say about him. What's happened just from one training camp? I think John Fury is angry with Ben Davison for the tactics because it nearly got his fucking son killed. Let's be real, man.
What tactics?
Well, I don't know. I'm just guessing now. Listen, so before anyone, I'm just guessing.
I think there's just bad egos there with the Tyson, with the Fury.
No, I don't think it's about the egos because I don't think it's about. I think it's about the tactics on the night. And let's be real, Tyson Fury took one hell of a shot, and unless the man might not have got up that night. So
John Fury looks like he's.
I'll tell you what it is. Tell you what it is. He needs somebody that's more like a friend in there to motivate him. He doesn't want somebody as harsh and tell him his reality, because Fury, I don't think he's still mentally all there.
No, I think you're spot on, but Joe, I don't think Tyson's. Look what happened when he went to Big Bear. He lasted 3 days, couldn't handle it, walked out. Same with when he went to Freddie Roach's gym. I think with Ben Davison, he's there to be a mate and to be a yes boy.
Yeah, like a friend, like cheer him up, and but he's not there.
Basically, he's there to hold the pads. He's there to hold the pads and come up with some sort of game plan because Tyson can't be bothered to look.
And tell him you're doing great, you're doing good, like that, like cheering him up and say, "Fuck."
Try to build his confidence.
He's a real trainer
and get his cardio as good as you can. That's what he does.
Another trainer, Tundi Ajadi, is it? What his name is? Anthony Yard's trainer.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Tundi or whatever.
Lions in the camp. Lions in the camp. We're all lions in the camp.
Why would you tell your fighter in the 6th round to empty the tank or whatever it was?
Well, I don't know. And they thought they were going to take.
It's probably his first time ever in a fight.
He was tired after round 2.
Shouting lions in the camp is not going to win you fights.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
There's a reason. There's a reason why Freddie Roach was beefing with Ben Davison, and he got a little jealous. Yeah. Freddie Roach tried to put his 2 cents in there, and Ben Davison kind of felt threatened.
Well, no shit. He doesn't know anything.
Well, the thing is, like I said, that was Tyson's biggest mistake. He should have gone with just Freddie Roach.
Oh, yeah.
And kept Ben as number 2 trainer. Because Ben's not a number 1 trainer. What's he proved? I mean, let's be real. Adam Booth is a better option for Tyson Fury. Much better option.
Remember
could you imagine Freddie Roach telling Fury you should do during training camp, you should do this, I think you should do that, and then Ben Davison steps in, no, don't do that.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is why I keep it real, bro. I keep it real. I've been saying about Ben Davison for months now. There's nothing there to. I don't know why he keeps getting all this praise. I don't know why he's getting it. What did he do? He came up with a game plan that almost got his fighter killed.
Wait. I got a question. Who else has he trained?
Nobody. I don't know.
So
I
he
have
came out
no
of nowhere.
idea. I
could
can't think of
trace-
anyone.
you could count them on an amputated hand. That's
Tyson basically is just his own man, dude.
Yeah.
He does everything on his own. That's like including training and fighting. You can look at like his footage of his camp. He's just training himself, and everyone else is off in the corner
That's a
talking.
good
I'll tell you
point.
another thing as well.
He's like Shumanov.
tight
Yeah.
as well. When it comes to paying people, he's tight with his money. He cuts corners a little bit. Ben Davidson's a lot cheaper than Freddie Roach. Let's just
A lot cheaper.
So
Stu, do
that's
you think
what-
that
that's
he's
another
So
thing?
it's about the money? Come on.
Yeah,
Listen,
Stu,
with Tyson Fury, mate,
Come on.
he sees because Tyson Fury, he sees that no one's really gonna. What's the point of paying someone 15-20% when they're not going to teach me nothing? I know it all anyway. That's how he
But,
thinks.
but,
Wow.
but I thought Stu, I thought he was the type of guy, if he likes you, he blesses you. He gives you money. Didn't he give a lot of money out to
Yeah,
charity?
but what I'm saying is, it's all right giving someone a couple hundred pounds here and there. But when someone's taking 15-20% off a £7-8 million purse, it's a bit of a
Big
different
difference.
story, man.
Yeah, big difference.
You remember when?
Because I know that corner man. Sorry, go ahead.
Remember when Miguel Cotto fought Pacquiao, and that was right after he got into a fight, Cotto with his uncle. I think he actually threw a brick. No, he hit. I think he hit his uncle, and then his uncle threw a brick at his car, his Jaguar or something. And then Cotto, for the biggest fight of his career against Manny Pacquiao, he brings in this guy that was younger than him. I think he was in that. Some dude who was 28. That was a classic example of Cotto saying, "Listen, I just need somebody to sort of guide me a little bit here, but I'm going to be my own boss in training camp." And that's what happened.
That's why I never liked him. That's the reason why I never
Listen,
liked
I
Cotto.
just with Cotto, that day I saw him in bed with his trainer, just sleeping in a single
And
bed.
tidy whiteies.
Yeah, that
I
was
just
strange.
I can't get that thought out of my head every time his name's mentioned. It was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen on a boxing show. I mean,
It was very gay.
Millions of
It's
people
very
are going
gay.
to watch
Very
get
good.
in bed with this big fat trainer. It's a single bed as well. I could understand if it's one of them king size ones.
And
Go-
spoon, dick to butt.
Cuddling up to each other. And then he comes in the fucking ring with pink shorts on and stuff.
Hey, do you guys remember that?
confirming everything.
There's
Yeah,
I
you're
don't-
talking
I don't-
about Evangelista Cotto. Evangelista
Yeah,
Cotto,
fat
BDA.
but you
G
know what?
Boogie.
But hold on.
Where you at, G Boogie? I got you.
You know what? You guys are talking bad about Miguel Cotto, or Stu at least said that. Oh, I think he's. Look, I don't see what's wrong with Miguel Cotto. I mean, look at how when he spars, he wears the best gear out there, the best trunks. Look at that. I mean, do you think that's weird? I think that's a sign of a guy who's confident in himself. That's what I think.
Oh, I see it.
It's terrible.
Why is he wearing
I don't
What?
know.
What's wrong? What's wrong with that?
I mean, might as well. He's sleeping with men. I mean,
I think he's bisexual.
Wasn't there a 24/7 where he was holding the fat guy's hand and kissing him on the mouth too,
Yeah.
like a little peck on the
Yeah, yeah.
He's
The way he
fucking-
kissed him in the lips. I mean,
listen, man, kissing some. Come on, man. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Yeah,
There's a guy in the chat who didn't know that actually happened. And we're not lying here, but I can't remember your name. But he said, he goes, get in bed with another man. It happened, man. He got in bed with his trainer, and a single bed at that. This weren't like I said,
Yeah, this was
wasn't
a
king bed we're talking
Fucking
about.
tiny little bed.
Yeah, and he was cuddling up to him, not spooning the guy. I mean, what
Dick
the
to butt. Dick to butt.
Listen. I just want to clear something up here. I just want to
thinking
clear
it was
something up.
kind of
That's
adorable.
terrible.
Hold on.
Listen,
I just want to.
listen, I'm not a massive guy. I'm not a massive guy myself, right? My missus is about 8 stone. And if I got in a
Whoop. Oh boy! All right, sorry about that, guys. We cut off on the Discord there. Something happened. Just by the way, just want to while we got a little bit of moment here at time. We are
He's doing-
very
Oh,
supportive.
yeah.
All right, I'm
not
back.
that, you know,
Sorry
not
about
that I
that.
can,
He's into the chubbies.
sorry.
Sorry about that. We dropped off for about 2 seconds. I don't know what happened. I think too much too much gaiety. Listen, we accept anybody and everybody, all walks of life here at BDA Boxing. But we're just saying it seems a little bit weird that Miguel Cotto, there's so much going on in his family, with himself, holding hands with his best friend, kissing him on the mouth. Then you got his son. This is from El Diario, and it says, Cotto and his wife are proud of their makeup artist son, and they don't care about the mocking that is going on towards that. So
I mean, it looks like a Puerto Rican Gok One. I mean, look at him, man.
I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he wants to be a makeup artist. But I will say,
listen.
Yeah,
men shouldn't be wearing makeup. Bro. I don't care. You know, I don't. You can sit there with your Canadian snowflake ways, but they should be wearing. You know, this
no,
is,
but what I was gonna say.
What
I was gonna say, it wasn't that necessarily that it's all just fine and dandy. My problem with this is that he looks like one of those. Look at him with those points and under the eyes. He looks like one of those tattoos that cholos get in prison. You know what I mean? Those clown makeup. So that somebody could think somebody could think he's a gang member or something, and the Sureños are gonna go after him or something. He better be careful with that. That was just the only point I wanted to make.
Listen, I don't have any. I find it bizarre that a man would wear makeup, especially like a world champion son. Do you know what I mean?
Somebody saying in the chat that Stu weighs 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
I don't know why.
G Boogie, if you, I'm sure you can hear this. I sent you the link in your Discord chat, bro.
Yeah, I'm here.
It's already there.
£100 with chocolate.
Yo, mute.
Yeah, what's happening?
What's up, y'all?
But hold on, you gotta. Oh shit! You know what, G Boogie, you gotta mute your speakers because we can hear everything that you are saying.
Yeah.
So I got you muted there, but you gotta turn your speakers off.
How's that?
All right. Yeah, I think it's good now. Now we're good.
We're still
I was just say.
Yeah.
Well,
G, I sent you the link. It's in your Discord chat or whatever.
He's already on.
He's already on.
Yeah.
Well, no, a link to the. Oh, I thought he meant a link to the fucking fight.
Yeah. I got you.
My bad. I sent you a link to the fights. Sorry.
Appreciate it.
Well, if you need it.
The point with this whole Cotto thing is, why did we start talking about Cotto? See, that's the thing. We started talking about Teofimo Lopez.
I'm sorry, BDA. What y'all was talking about Cotto? So I can chime in on it.
No, wait.
Don't say no.
Right, don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm
just kidding.
Nah, be real. Yo, recognize. He doing gay ass shit.
Well, getting in bed with his trainer, snuggling up to him, spooning the guy. I'm not saying it's not a good image for me, especially when you're in. Look, this is like 24/7. You're just about to fight. I think he was fighting Floyd Mayweather or something like that, and I just couldn't believe it. Bizarre. It might have been Canelo or something. I don't know, but I remember it clearly.
Even Floyd said. Every
time I hear Cotto's name, that image comes in my head.
Yeah, that's some gay ass shit. First of all, I wouldn't be, even if he's my cousin and shit, I'd be like, yo, motherfucker, get out my bed.
Yeah. Only way I'm like spooning with a dude is if we're like in the snow about to die, and I'm like, bro, I need some heat here. Get the fuck over.
Sorry, I'll be both motherfucker. We're both dying here. Go on.
Oh, you're an asshole. You're going,
I'm
man.
just gonna go ahead and get frostbite.
We're wrestling then. We're wrestling for heat.
Thunderdome, you are confirmed. Thunderdome, you are
and
confirmed.
if I win, I'm then holding you for warmth.
Well, there you have it, man. I mean, listen, Cotto. We start talking about Cotto's the train. No, this all started because we talked about Cotto not wanting to train with somebody more experienced for the Pacquiao fight. Bottom line, you know what? Let's take some predictions here. All right, put up or shut up time. Bucho, you want to do the honors of tallying the results here for the Teofimo Lopez Commey fight? All right. Let's take some predictions. Let's start with recognize who you have between.
I'm going with First of all, Pete is freaking me out with this. Is he on top of his car?
He's in a gas station now.
I thought he was on top of his car or something. Okay, I see what he's
okay, why would he be on
Why would he be on? All right.
Okay.
He looks like,
all right.
Sorry. He looks like he's got recognize. He looks like he's It looks like he's casing the joint. He's about to rob the restaurant or something. Look at him. He's stalking people. Okay, well,
Look at him. Fucking motherfuckers off.
All right.
Dang.
Oh, and
All right, Recognize. Go ahead. Go
Good
ahead.
evening, my brother.
I'm gonna lean slightly towards Teofimo, but I think it's gonna be one of these. He starts off early. He starts off really good, blazing. You know how he is, a bit flashy. He wears out in the end, but still gets the nod.
So you're saying, okay, so you got to be a little bit more specific here. Unanimous decision, split decision,
I
stoppage.
say like a majority. I'm gonna say majority decision.
All right, Bucho.
It's gonna be one of those fights. It looks like he lost going down the stretch.
I mean, I want to know what the crack is here, man. I mean, America's getting all the best of the fights in the UK at the moment. We're not getting any of yours at the moment. What's happening here? I mean, what other fight the other week?
nobody cares.
Chris Eubank weren't even on. Chris Eubank card weren't even on. Charlo, that card. Teofimo Lopez tonight's not on. It's shambles that we're not getting these cards.
Oh, it's
And
the same card.
Yeah, but that can't be good for boxing.
Well, I just told you
I mean,
you
if
can
you
get it
grab
on. I told you can get it on Fight TV.
You think I'm paying £15 to fucking watch that?
11 pounds.
11 pounds. 11 pounds.
£11 too much. Let's be right. I shouldn't have to stay up till 4 a.m. and pay £11 to watch Teofimo Lopez.
Come on, Stu. Get yourself a cup of tea, some jellied eels,
Jelly eels.
a bacon sandwich with no mayo, no mustard, and you're set, man. You get an
Toast
evening
and
ahead.
don't forget your toast and cheese.
Yeah, you toast and cheese.
Cheese and crumpets.
Hey, Stu. I like making grilled cheese, right? What you guys call toast and cheese. So I
Cheese
said
on toast.
cheese and
on
toast,
toast.
but I said toast and cheese.
Yeah.
How
I
about
said to my kids, and they were like, my
How
kids
about
looked at me like, "What the hell is that?"
How about a plate of faggots and watch some
All
of the
right.
reruns?
No. Gonzalo, you got to stop that, man.
By
the way-
I thought that was a
And
Filipino
smokes-
dish.
That's a
While
dish.
smoking a fag.
Yeah, that's the thing. We
There you
just
go.
want to make it clear to anybody
Listen,
listening.
the last time I had faggots, right? I don't even know what they're called. That. Still haven't.
How was it the last time you had?
The last time I had one of them, it must have been 80s. 80s,
Yeah,
man.
those with cocaine. BDA, do the disclaimer then.
That's
Oh
nice.
yeah, I already put up the disclaimer that they're talking about the British food faggots. They're not talking. They're not using it as a.
Yeah, if anyone's getting offended about to get
Yeah.
Not a
man, we're talking about
derogatory
British
remark.
food. A British
Yeah.
food faggots. I don't know why
Yeah.
it's called that. Don't ask me, but that's what it's called. And
But while you're
tastes
at it, you can watch some Miguel Cotto 24/7 reruns.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Yeah.
You can slow mo that part when he kisses his friend there.
Could you imagine kissing a fat guy? What he must smell like? Like, because he's
Stop
probably
it, man.
got
Jesus Christ. All right.
I don't even kiss fat girls. They're my fat girls.
his upper lip probably smells like cheese or something that he ate 2 hours
fuck.
earlier,
No,
like a
it
cheeseburger
smells
or
like
something.
faggots.
Yeah, he smells like- All right, listen, this is getting out of hand.
All right.
It's not
Next
black
on the list.
Recognize he didn't even. Oh, no, okay, so he said unanimous decision, Teofimo Lopez, but he's gonna
He's a
he's gonna
majority decision.
majority. Okay, sorry. So he's gonna weaken down the stretch. He said. Let's get Stu prediction: Commey versus Teofimo Lopez.
Commey points.
Oh,
Teofimo Lopez, like I said, he's not been that impressive. He's still got to prove himself to me. And Comey's not the best himself. I think Commey carries enough pop to keep Lopez off him. And I think Lopez, I think his boxing skills are overrated. He can be outboxed. And I think Commey
split?
just might nick the decision on this one.
Split decision?
Yeah, I think with Teofimo being the home, I think, it's going to be a split decision. So-
All right. Next.
All right, let's go with Gonzalo.
Commey, Teofimo Lopez. Commey is not a small guy. He's a career 135 pounder. And Lopez is just starting his career at 135. So I think that when it comes down to like today, he's going to step into the ring like 10 or 15 pounds bigger than Commey. And Commey, although he hasn't been knocked out before. He's been hurt by Robert Easter, who's really not a big puncher. So I think that this fight, since Commey's going to bring it, nobody's going to be running. the bigger guy is going to be able to land a hard shot and knock out Richard Commey, and it's going to be in the 10th round, in my opinion.
Oh, geez. All right. So Lopez stoppage in the 10th round.
All right.
Yes.
All right. There you go.
BDA, show on the screen where
oh,
so
you're
people
writing
can
it
see it on
down?
YouTube.
Well, people can't see it on YouTube. That's the problem. No, hold on a second. Maybe I can hear if I go here. All right. There we go. All right.
All right.
So
Who's next?
yeah, let's go with Thunderdome.
All right. Teofimo Lopez by stoppage. I believe in that with everything. This is not only a complete make or break an entire family's life for Teofimo Lopez. This fight is so important for him. He's going to lay everything out there. He's going to be the stronger man. He hits really fucking hard. He's fast. As Gonzalo said, Commey's going to be there to hit because he's going to be throwing that one too. Lopez might start off slow, but towards that middle rounds, watch him start using the muscle and power and just speedy power shots. He's going to clip him. He's going to hurt him and get him out of it. He's stopping him, and I know that. Like, that's how I see this fight. I believe in that really strong. The stoppage, I'd go like 9 or 10ish. He said 10. I'll go 9. Round 9 stoppage.
Oh, Gonzalo, he's trying to upstage you, man. You're gonna take that from
No,
him?
he can say the same thing too. It's all right, Thunderdome.
I don't really know which one. It's 9 or 10. I think in that area. So.
No.
right.
Get in there, Gonzalo. Get in there. Don't let him upstage you. Come on. Say 8th round stoppage. Come on. All right. So, we got some surprising predictions here. Let's go with
a good variety of picks here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let's go with G Boogie.
G Boogie.
What's up? I'm gonna say along the lines like Gonzalo and Thunderdome, but I'm gonna say also that he's gonna get clipped in the early round. He might go down, but ultimately he's gonna power up and get him in the 8th round. And then he's gonna do the celebration whatever he does.
Oh yeah.
And when he does his backflip, he ain't gonna notice the ice in the split and pull his.
No, you cut off. Are you saying he's gonna slip and pull his dick? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I think that's what he said.
His groin muscle.
He's gonna pull his groin. He's gonna dislocate a testicle. All right. So G Boogie saying Lopez 8th round stoppage, and you see he's upstaging Thunderdome and Gonzalo. So good for you, G Boogie. All right, let's see. Pete, are you there?
Can Pete even talk?
I don't know. He's casing a joint.
While he's driving, and
he's inside doing a drive, doing a hold up.
You know
he's
what? It is
again, this guy keeps getting out of his car.
Pete is like Ryan Gosling. Pete is like Ryan Gosling in that movie Drive. Remember that movie where he drives a getaway car? That's what Pete's doing right
baby.
now. No, that was another movie. That was another movie.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver. Yeah, that was actually a decent.
All right, so
yeah. All right.
You go ahead with your prediction.
I'll go ahead and say Lopez by decision, unanimous. He will drop Commey at some point, and so yeah, Lopez by unanimous decision.
Lopez by unanimous decision. I'm gonna go with Lopez by unanimous decision as well. I can see the stoppage too, but I'm going to play it safe, man, this one. I'm going to go with Lopez, the unanimous decision, and I think his post-fight celebration, hopefully he brings his wife into the ring and they start doing something really special so that I can, because, I'm a bit of a pervert. I want them to pervert out either.
And he pays no attention to his father.
Oh, yeah, that would be, yeah. That would be interesting.
He says it's all due to his wife.
Oh, it'll be nice if he goes up there and says, my pops had nothing to do with this. It's all my wife and my doing.
Pete's back.
Pop, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Pete is back from his robbery.
Yeah, Pete, did you get a good score? Pete, did you get a good score? How much did you get? Oh, He's still
muted.
He's driving the
Creepy
getaway
as
car.
fuck.
He can't talk. He can't talk right now.
It's a store.
Dude, you know
He's
it'd be nice if like Teofimo could actually be Danny Garcia's size and they fight and the two father. Oh man, that should
That'd be fantastic.
That'll be a good fight.
It might happen someday, actually. If TFL
No,
stick
I'm not.
around.
G Boogie, I'm not talking about them two fighting, which would be nice. I'm talking about their two. They both of their fathers going at it.
The shit talking.
Oh yeah, Angel with his father. Oh my God, a crackhead with a.
But yo,
But that
here's the
fight-
thing. Angel Garcia disappointed me because I'm gonna tell you why. He wanted no smoke with Ruben Guerrero.
Yeah, that's
He
the thing.
didn't want that smoke at all.
Well, would you have fun?
Yo,
I mean,
don't sleep on Robert Guerrero. That boy is man. He's done with that with the MA.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
Don't sleep on him.
If he don't hit you with the black hand, he hit you with the force of the Lord.
no, but you know
Ruben
what?
Guerrero looked like he was down with La M.
Yeah, he
La
looked like he was
primera-
done with
la
the.
primera, güey.
Familia.
Dude,
He
he's
looked
the
like
old canal.
I mean,
He looked
Robert
like he was with
Guerrero,
the-
right? I actually quite like Robert Guerrero, but just that when he talked his way into a Floyd Mayweather fight and then just it was dreadful, wasn't he? Let's be real.
I know, right?
He was absolutely dreadful. I mean, he just never looked like he was in that fight for 1 second of it. And Floyd Mayweather should have stopped him.
And he didn't even throw one punch with anything on it. They were
No.
all just love taps, man.
out of range, lunging shots. Just
Dude, he
dreadful.
was lambasted because of that fight. He after that fight, he just went into seclusion.
I talked about it on an old video. I had a local mob
Yeah, I
guy.
saw that. And
I had a local mob guy tell me back in the day that fight was rigged.
No kidding.
It would surprise me. The way Robert Guerrero fought. Because the thing with Robert Guerrero, I've always said this, and so is I think it's recognised in it. I think to beat Floyd, you've got to be busy, like Floyd, like Madonna was, a bit more, but technically better. But
Yeah.
that's the style you've got to go and fight Floyd with. And
But you know what? Stu,
Guerrero
Like
had that
Roberto
about him.
Duran.
Guerrero had that about him, where he was very busy, threw a lot of shots. Yes, he's easy to hit, but he could have given Floyd. I'm not saying he could have beat Floyd Mayweather here. I'm saying he could have given a lot better performance or give it a better go. And
Look,
he
it's
terrible.
this style. These guys, like, think of these guys. Think of Maidana, like
Castillo.
Chavez Sr., Castillo,
Yeah.
Roberto Duran. Those styles, and just mix them all together. That's what you got to try to do if you're that Mexican style guy. That's what Guerrero had to do. That's what Canelo was supposed to do.
You've got to totally smother Floyd
Yep.
and stop him from getting into a rhythm and getting his range and his timing right. You've got to, because he
Hit him
likes to hold a lot.
everywhere. Hit him
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, that's what Madonna did. Hit him on the arms, the ribs, and it was a he nearly nicked it for me. I thought Floyd just probably did enough, but
Yeah, same here.
A lot of people think Madonna won that fight. So
Yeah. I mean, they
You
got
know,
a draw.
that's how you-
They got a
Castillo,
draw
Castillo,
in Vegas.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
one judge gave it a draw in Vegas. That's
Yeah,
still very
exactly.
impressive.
It is very impressive. I mean,
you know what? It's interesting that
No, so he didn't get a draw. He got a draw on the card. That's what I mean.
Yeah. The one judge gave it a draw. I'm sorry.
That's right. That's right. But look, and he got a rematch because of it. But that's a style you've got to bring to Floyd. I think if you try and box him, then it's going to be easy work for him. So
it's interesting that Recognize mentioned that you were disappointed in Angel Garcia. I thought you were going to mention the disappointment when he was up for the Zab Judah fight because he was.
That's what I thought too.
All right, hold on. Who's got the speakers on? Come on. I can hear myself on the feedback here. Anyway, Angel Garcia, when he was with Zab Judah and he was talking big smack, big time, right, in front of Zab Judah in the press conference with the security. But then when they were doing that press thing over in a shoe store or whatever, and Zab Judah actually called him out on it, he said, hey, listen, you talk a big game when there's security and everything, but now when we're face-to-face, you don't say anything. And then finally, when people showed up, Angel Garcia started banging the table. And I'm thinking, come on, this guy's he's a crackhead. All talk and no actual action.
Yeah, like in the hood, he gets smacked up like every week.
I think so. Yeah, I think he's a bit of a con artist.
Like he would if he was on the streets. I'm sure he's safe now because he got all kind of money. But,
dude, if he was in New York playing that bullshit crackhead stuff, oh, he would have been decimated.
It would have been like that
A
episode there.
guy like him is not going to last long in the hood with his behaviour and his attitude. I mean, I think Danny gave him a lifeline getting him out of the hood, I think, by being a world-class fighter. Because if
And
he
by the way-
wasn't, and if Danny was on the hood himself, Angel probably wouldn't be around today because you can't talk to people like that. You might be able to do it in front of cameras and stuff and with big promotions and sponsors behind you, but when it comes to doing it on the street, it's not a good idea. So I'm not a fan of Angel Garcia. Never have been. I just don't think he hasn't moved Danny on. Danny hasn't moved on. Danny's the same.
Hey, Stu.
If he's worse, if anything. Go on.
Stu, SSB28 just asked you, and I'd like to know your thoughts too. What do you think of Tim Bradley saying Terence Crawford could beat Floyd Mayweather? And since he didn't say what Floyd, let's say prime Floyd, at welter, and current Floyd. I think Crawford will obviously murder current Floyd. So
yeah, well that's that. Yeah.
What do you think about like prime?
That's a tough fight because that is a tough one to pick because Crawford ain't going to get steamrolled in that fight because Floyd don't steamroll anyone. He outboxes him, but Crawford's also quite quick on his feet as well. It would be a terrible fight. It would be a chess match, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Probably be very boring.
Yeah, it's not a fight I'd ever want to watch. But obviously I would watch it for the love of boxing, but it's not one I'll be excited about. Let's just say that. I'd have to pick Floyd Mayweather in that one. I just don't think Crawford's shown it enough for me to say he can beat a prime.
Yeah, at the moment, I think I would go prime Floyd, honestly.
By the way, I see we got Jimmy on the line. Jimmy, are you back?
Tonight might show me something different, though.
What's going on, guys?
Jimmy!
What's happening, man? I was on earlier, but I don't think you could hear me. I started talking. I'm like, I think I'm being blocked out again. So what's going on, man? Talk about, right now he would definitely beat, Mayweather in his condition now. Prime, I don't know, because, Crawford's on the smaller side. I hear a lot of people talk about him maybe going up to 154. I think he's at his stretch at 147. Frame wise.
Crawford also has a speed though.
I do too, man. I think 147 is the limit.
Yeah, what his frame? I'll tell. Sorry, Stu, what's that?
No, go on, bro. I said that as well. It's his limit. Go ahead.
I agree. But hey, what did you guys think of fucking? I'll tell you, man. That kid Virgil Ortiz, man. I've been hearing some shit about him.
Love him.
He cracks. I mean, I'll tell you,
that dude hits hard, man.
My favorite fucking prospect, man. Bye for
that. Well, I was told that the old man, the grandfather, not Diaz. I mean, the corner man, Garcias, yeah. The talk out of that gym was like straight up, like they were saying they've never felt the welterweight hit like that kid. And he's a kind of a strange cat too, because right, you look. I mean, he's even got that Indian look, like the Mexican Indian look.
Yeah, like that warrior vibe.
Yeah, exactly, the Aztec look. But dude's the kid's a heavy. He's a fucking speed metal head, and he plays guitar and shit. Yeah, which is kind of.
He's not even developed into a grown man yet, really.
Not at all. He's only
21 years old.
Can you imagine how hard he's going to be hitting when he's at his peak?
Yeah, like 27, 28.
Yeah, he has to. He's already knocked out 3 guys that had never been knocked out before. Three guys had,
and
he hasn't knocked 6 rounds.
They had 80 fights.
Like I said, over the years, we've seen some massive punches, and sometimes you just got to have a bit more than punching power. You've got to be able to sometimes win on the cards, ugly if you have to, or box your way to the points.
He had to do that.
Some guys are not going to fall out. Look, there's guys out there that you just can't knock out. No matter how many times you hit them on the fucking chin. I tell you what, good luck to anyone that tries to knock out Golovkin and Canelo. You could hit them all fucking day.
I know, man. Their fucking chins are unbelievable.
I like
the thing he works. Yeah, he works.
You have to mix it up.
He works behind his jab and he throws straight punches and he keeps his guard high. That's good for him.
Yeah.
And his left hook is so tight.
And that wasn't a flash. He put that dude on Queer Street with that jab.
Yeah, dude, that jab was beautiful. That was Joe Louis.
He keeps a high guard in the way he darts in and out. You know what I mean, with that front foot. I'm telling you, it's impressive. And very impressive kid. And in fact, like the family said, like you'll almost guaranteed never to see supposedly, and like even the grandfather was saying he wouldn't want Mikey to fight him because they're very close friends to begin with.
You just got to calm down with these prospects because it can go all wrong. Like, you know, they get hyped up to be something they're not, like Devin Haney did. I mean,
fuck Devin Haney. This guy's the blue chipper, in my opinion. Haney and them guys ain't.
What I do like is how they've. Oh, sorry, brother.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, you've got guys like Eddie Hearn saying this guy's the next Floyd Mayweather, pound for pound superstar.
That's crazy.
That puts a lot of pressure on young fighters that have done nothing. Let's be real. That WBC belt, it was sent in the post to him. He didn't win that in a boxing ring. So he's proven nothing. You've got to calm down with these young talents because I've seen so many fighters in the recent couple of years that we've seen are big names. Like Jaime Munguia, believe it or not, 6 months ago, 10 months ago, was a massive man that's a superstar, going to be a superstar now.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
Yeah, but Jaime Munguia.
But I didn't think Jaime. I knew then Jaime had no defense, though. That's the thing, also. Yeah, but with Haney, Haney has so many fucking holes in his game. He's not ready for top level at all.
Well,
he don't got that power.
You can always tell if someone's legit by how they're matching them. Okay, all right.
Very
now
true.
take for instance, look at Jamal Charlo, right? The middleweight. He just fought that fucking kid. It was such a disaster. 275,000 fucking people. The place was it was empty. Listen, you can come out with your headdresses, and you know he's following the wire plan. Not surprising that Finkel, I think, represents him too. But listen, when you only fight, honestly, dudes, if you knocked out someone in the fucking parking lot, your resume would be as good as his. You knocked out some drunk in the parking lot. You know what I mean? So, but now you look at this kid. Look at the guys he's fucking. The kid Orozco, he only lost once. Solomon only once. Never been stopped. Herrera can make people look bad. You know what I mean? The consummate pro. He beat fucking Danny Garcia, costing $1 million. But so the fact the Golden Boy is fast tracking him. When I ever saw, like I said, oh wow, or you know, when I saw him Orozco, I'm like, wow, they're really moving along. Let's see if they do that again. Then when they ever put him up against Solomon, that's when I knew. I'm like, they're trying to put him up against top talent who've never been stopped, and then he goes out and stops them.
This is the thing, Jimmy. This is the thing. This is why a lot of these young prospects and young talents are getting found out because these days we will not accept 30-0, 35-0 before they fight anyone like the Wilder.
We did career. With Wilder.
Yeah, no one accepted that. That's why Wilder gets the shit he does. Listen, you're in an era now where it's a big business, and you've got to move these fighters along. That's why you're seeing these guys, these Eastern Europeans, taking title fights before they've even had 10 fights with Beterbiev and all them, and Lomachenko and Usyk. Do you know what I mean?
They know how to fight, and they're ready to go.
That's why. Why mess around and waste time with them? And let's be real, the boxing fans are not going to accept bum fights for too long.
They're not. You're right, and it shows by his receipts. Look at he just lost over $10 million. Wilder Ortiz too lost over $10 million. Do you know that they still haven't released anything on the numbers? I mean, fucking what's his name? Glacier is doubling down. He's saying fuck the dude who's on the Boxing Voice. He's like, I don't give a shit that he said 275. He goes, that motherfucker sold 138,000 pay-per-views.
Yeah,
that's fucking
Jimmy,
horrendous.
Jimmy, Joshua in the UK did 1.6 million buys.
Let's say it was 275. Who cares?
At 275, it still lost $15 million. No, at 250,000 pay-per-views, it lost $15,350,000. And then whatever they took.
They rounded it up to 300,000, by the way.
Just look at it like this, guys, right? When you look at the size of the UK, right? Joshua did 1.6 million. It was at £30, which is probably $40 or so. So even if you half that for the money wise, say there was 800,000 buys. I mean, just compare that to 138,000 buys in a country with 360 million people in it. I mean,
and not only UK, real quick. Speaking of the UK, congratulations, brother. So, by the way,
Boris, get in there, Boris. The fucking lefty took a right hammer in that.
Fucking
Yeah,
Scotland, they're rioting. Ha! But anyways, congratulations, brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Scots are always whining about something, man.
Jesus Christ. Go ahead,
and not
Gonzalo.
only that, he sold over 1 million on the zone. Okay.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people
That's
people were knocking at the zone. Oh, no one's buying. But Canelo brought in massive numbers to the zone. So did KSI. So did Joshua. I mean, their numbers are starting to grow and grow and grow. And the zone have actually saved boxing because, let's be real, if it was left to Frank Warren and the likes of Al Heyman, we'd be having dreadful cards where we wouldn't be able to even watch them unless we find some free stream. I mean, this way, joke, man. I can't watch this fight on my TV tonight. I'm going to have to find some dodgy old stream on my phone because my computer.
The zone's pulling over 50,000 buyers a month. It's been doing it steady. So think about that. They're doing. So it's really, really doing. There's
And let's be real. That's what I mean. That's why Eddie Hearn. That's why they picked Eddie Hearn. He's not just like Al Heyman, just throwing money away so he can get his 20% off the fighters. Eddie Hearn's actually putting on events that are actually making money for it and getting them subs, and that's what you got to do to build a business.
Who's gonna watch boxing on their phone? Who's gonna watch boxing on their phone? I remember that a year ago or something.
Can't you plug a lead into? Can't you plug a lead from your phone into your TV?
No, they can't. It's too
technologically too complicated for them.
Yeah, no.
Well, you got to have a smart TV for that, didn't you?
But
I mean,
even
Netflix.
Even a good computer screen. My laptop's fucking. The screen's awesome. I watched the fight on my laptop last night. I wasn't at the house.
Jimmy, how is Netflix doing? Because Netflix was pretty successful. You know what I mean? Now it's going down a little bit, but it was pretty successful. So why can't a sports app or a streaming app also be successful? I don't understand why
it was
people
the
couldn't
future.
understand this.
Listen, HBO knew it. That wasn't. They didn't get out contrary to fucking Fred Hawthorne, that fucking pinhead. Showtime didn't get out of boxing because HBO didn't get out because the Showtime was kicking its ass. They get out because it came down to this. Do we want to now put the money into the go to the app route? Because they knew it was happening. They saw the forecast. They knew that the app was the way to go, and they didn't want to get caught in a position right now that Showtime's in. Showtime, turning down the Ortiz fight. They had the first crack at that, and when it was told it was going to cost them $10 million, plus they'd have to give up half of their fucking TV rights.
Listen, mate.
What?
Yeah, I'll tell you how bad it is in Showtime, Jimmy. Right? Even the Clarissa Shields fight didn't happen. That's all they've got right now. I mean, listen, I'll tell you the truth. Floyd Mayweather, they used their budget on him and it didn't work. That's basically what happened. They used their budget on Floyd and they just run out of money and they can't compete with DAZN and everyone. Even Bob Arum. Bob Arum's still strong, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, Bob Arum's got a shit ton of investors, not to fucking go that route, but he, his race, they do invest into each other, and he does. He's got a shit ton of investors. He could pull money anytime he wants. But the thing is now, everybody's like, oh, well, fucking, they're going to be forced. Like, take Wilder, for instance. I don't know if it's 100% in stone with the Fury thing, but say even if Fury doesn't happen. Now this motherfucker's expecting $20 million a fight. That means they're going to have to bring on more investors. The Showtime's already thrown the gauntlet. They said, no way, we're not doing it. Fox, they'll do the pay-per-view, but they're not going to put up any fucking hard currency. You know what I mean? They're probably pissed that they only fucking got what they got. I'm sure they were expecting bigger numbers. So they're getting a bad taste. They're looking at their numbers. They're fucking, the shows they're putting on in their free TV on Saturday night primetime are getting beat out by fucking reruns of Gilligan's Island. You know what I mean? It's just the not.
Thing is, like I said, doing well. I think that they looked at it. Showtime and HBO looked at it. I think when Canelo left as well, and Floyd, they probably looked at it and thought, "There's no real stars coming from America that's going to be worth our while." None of them just don't have that X factor, do they? Where they can sell 1.5 million pay-per-view buys. They just like Floyd and like Canelo can do. Do you know what I mean? So
because Floyd was fucking Arum. Yeah,
I mean, you've just got to look at Arum. If the heavyweight champion of the world in Deontay Wilder with 40 knockout can't sell, then what chance have they got of trying to sell someone like Crawford or someone like that? It's pointless to them. And
well, it's grassroots. You have to start in your own, region. Like especially in the UK, I'm sure the local fighters start out in their local areas and they move out regionally, and then they do the countries. But the thing is, with the UK, Sky are the best. Sky are the best at it. They are actually very good at building brands, building fights, because they're starting from an early age, get them on early, and they keep showing them and showing them.
until you get to the point where you know the guy and you start supporting them, and it just builds up their name, sort of thing. Because it's a smaller country, you can do that. I'm not saying it's a bit different in America, but that's the road you got to take with these fights. You've got to build a profile.
They're not recruiting at all. They're just taking known
Exactly.
current fighters and just unionizing them basically.
And sticking them in Brooklyn, right? Fucking
whatever,
Hogan
they're
and
stripping them
Chavez. I mean,
who fought in Detroit the other day?
Oh yeah, who was it in Detroit?
Was it Charlo?
No, it wasn't.
I think no, that was at Barclays. That was in Brooklyn.
Someone fought in Detroit the other day. I don't know who it was, but apparently it was dead. I can't remember.
I'm waiting for somebody in the chat to say it. But we're talking about Go ahead, Mr. B.
Yeah, I wanted to mention something about. Well, I didn't want to change the subject too much because I wanted to go back to Teofimo Lopez. We didn't get Jimmy's prediction, by the way.
Oh, I picked Lopez. I got Lopez. I actually got him stopping Commey.
Oh, it's interesting. Most people are saying Lopez by stoppage. Who was it, Bucho, again? I think Stu picked Commey and...
Hold on.
The thing is, BDA, right? I've come on here enough times and criticised the guy. I said he hasn't impressed me, so it's going to be hard for me to pick him in this fight. I mean, he might prove me wrong tonight, and I might start changing my views.
Right.
I can't say
my pick is as much as a match as I'm just not that impressed by Commey.
I mean, I'm the only one again. It looks like I'm the only one that's picked Commey. I mean,
You don't like Teofimo?
No, it's not that. It's just I've criticised the guy so much. He's been critical of me to go and pick him to win by KO sort of thing. So.
You know, what's interesting about Teofimo Lopez is somebody was saying, they were having a discussion in a message board about whether Teofimo Lopez really wants to be boxing. Apparently from the article that I was reading to you guys about Teofimo Lopez's father and how his mother committed suicide when he was 17 and all that, it says that Teofimo Lopez won his first Golden Gloves tournament at 10 years old, I think. Something very young like that. And so
Silver mittens, right?
What's that?
Silver mittens, then.
Silver mittens, yeah, whatever.
Under 16, yeah, 6 silver mittens. Right?
Oh, I see. Okay. But they say he started pretty young, and some people say that it's another one of those cases of a father couldn't really quite make it as a boxer or whatever, so he tries to put his son in there as early as possible. And so maybe Teofimo Lopez, maybe he doesn't want to box, and maybe that's why he's creating all this drama with his wife, because it's his subconsciously, it's his way of saying, I want to get out of this. But I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
He's got to be pissed with his father. If his mother committed suicide, wasn't suffering mental, instabilities, then she obviously was pushed over the edge. But he's a hard guy to be with. He even admits it. I heard an interview where he openly admitted what you just said. He's living vicariously through his kid. He admits it. He says, he's doing what I wanted to do. So he's basically saying, so yeah, I'm sure this, and they even in interviews, they admit they have a rocky relationship. And now you mix a fucking wife into it? Forget about it.
I love my dad, right? And I love my dad. And I worked with my dad for a few years. And it's fucking toxic, man, working with that guy. And, you just, even if your dad didn't go and do something like Teofimo's did, it's still a toxic environment working with your dad all the time. You just can't. And
Are you two very similar?
That's why I'm not really keen on father-son partnerships. I don't mind the Porter one because I think Sean's a bit of a different character. I think he needs his dad around, and one of them sort of guys. Where Teofimo, like I said, if there's bitterness with your dad, you got to get him gone.
By the way, I got to clarify something.
Personality traits?
Yeah, because my dad's quite an old school guy, man. He's quite a rough guy, sort of thing. Well, he was, he ain't now, but he's still.
He's tougher on you than everybody else.
We've had punch-ups.
Okay, wait a minute. I want to get back to that. But just want to clarify because I think people misunderstood what I said. Teofimo Lopez's father, his mother committed suicide when he was 17. So it's Teofimo Lopez Jr.'s mother is the one that committed suicide.
I thought you said that his wife, sort of, Teofimo's mother committed suicide and he had something to do with it.
No, I thought you said I was all right, Spider. Anyway, listen, the point is...
right. I thought...
Okay, so the father when he was 10, his mother committed suicide.
Teofimo Lopez Jr.'s grandmother committed suicide when his father was 17. So So
Correct,
Teofimo
right, I
Lopez,
got it.
senior, and that's the
Yeah,
weird thing. It's just to
that'll fuck a man's up. That'll fuck up a man's life real quick.
Yeah, real quick, man. And here's the other thing that fucked me up real quick is the article is. I think they need somebody to spell check or to check the way it's written, because it says that I'm going to read it to you, and I'm going to put it on the screen so you guys see that I'm not playing around. It's really weird the way they wrote this, because it said, hold on a second, I'm going to put it up here for you guys on the Discord. It says, hold on. Okay, he was back one morning. I'll see him later. One night he switched and. Okay, one day when Senior was 17, a cousin came looking for him. His mother had been calling out his name, but Senior was shacked up with a girl and couldn't be bothered. By the time he returned to their apartment, she was dead. She'd hung herself. And then Senior says, she was on the bunk bed, he says, so I just started hitting it. Now, what did he start hitting? The body or the bed? See, that's what it's badly written. I wish somebody could have...
I would assume.
No, I think what he's punching his
up
fist
on
on
his
top.
mom's body.
Yeah.
I think punching
yeah.
his fist on top of the bunk bed. That's what they mean.
Okay, yeah, because they're talking about how he's crazy, whatever. So maybe in that context, I thought he was hitting.
I mean, I don't think he's going to sit there and throw a combination at a fucking man's body.
No, I know, but it was written weird. That's all I'm saying. So I wanted to get your output on that. It also, Chris K just donated with a super chat. Shout out to Chris K, who said, what did Chris K said? Pucho, can you read what he said?
Correction. Teofimo died when his grandma was 17. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Shout out to Chris K. But what else? Listen, he says that I think he used to have knife fights, like that's usually Puerto Ricans, not well.
Where they're from? Because I know they live in New York. Are they born and raised in New York?
Honduras. I think they used to travel back and forth. He used to travel back and forth, the father.
But that's old school stuff. They used to fight with machetes back in the days.
Central Americans, yeah.
That's why the M13.
So he lived in
uses the machete.
In Honduras.
Even in Puerto Rico, they did that.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that shit.
Hey, this guy seems to be more of a real deal than Angel Garcia. It says she worked in a soap factory. His mother worked in a soap factory. They lived with an uncle, and he used to beat Senior with a belt. Meanwhile, she would beat him with an electrical cord. If their intention was to make him a good kid, they failed miserably. By the time Senior was 10, he was robbing houses and selling nickel bags of oregano he passed off as weed. Oh, that sucks, man. No, that's low right there.
You can find that in every Spanish household.
Chris K says, "Man, just growing up in Honduras will probably mess you up."
Yeah, man, probably.
Okay, so he grew up. I'm sorry, he grew up in Honduras, right?
In between, from what I can gather.
In between Honduras and New York.
Yeah.
So wherever he lived, it was because remember he's talking about New York in the 80s and the 90s. Am I right?
Maybe 80s, 70s.
Yes, I would imagine. If he was growing, probably early 50s. He was probably in high school in the 80s.
Yeah, so that means he was growing. He lived in two hellholes.
Yep.
Yeah,
he lives in two hellholes.
Wow.
I like New York in the 80s was called the Zoo. It was at the height of 1991. New York had 2,300 homicides.
Yeah.
Put it in perspective. This year they'll probably hit 400. 23.
Oh man,
yeah, they're over. This year was an
Paradise.
uptick. This year was an uptick. It's over 400 now.
Dude, you go to Times Square now and it's all lit up and it's MTV and models and fun. Dude, I'd go there in the 80s. Swear to God, the minute it was getting dark, you had to get in the car. And if you saw an ambulance, you must stop in the street because they were trying to hit you to fucking get the business. Dude, open air drug markets, prostitutes.
Hey, Jimmy.
It was fucking awesome.
Jimmy, I remember the 80s when you go to Manhattan. Only thing you saw was the X-rated films and all that other stuff.
All triple X. Yep, there it is everywhere.
Yep, disgusting ass people, junkies.
You see buckets coming down out of windows. Swear to God, buckets coming down out of windows. That's how they sold the heroin. There would people be lined up on the sidewalk. I'd be like, look at the line, a fucking line. And you would see the bucket come down out of the window. They put the money in the bucket. They'd bring down the heroin. It was needles everywhere. It was fucking crazy.
Well, where are the cops?
I remember
they were out of there. The cops didn't. They were like, "Fuck this place." First of all, it's not worth our lives over there, dude.
Hey,
they used to shoot at
sounds
you.
like
They
Mad
used to
Max.
shoot at you. They used to shoot at you from their windows or the rooftop. Like if you walking through a neighborhood like where there's big buildings like the projects,
The
they'll
Gangster
shoot at you
Disciples.
out the window.
Nah, not them, bro. We talking older than them, bro.
It was a
Talking
bad
about the
combination.
dirty outlaws, the crazy ones, the Chingling, the sex boys. I can
Yeah, there
keep
was a
going.
crew called the Sex Boys. I remember that day.
Yo,
And it was a
I've never been to
combination
New
thing.
York, right? I've never been to New York, but whenever I saw the place in a movie, or like I said, I used to watch Hill Street Blues back in the day. I used to like that. The place just looked a real depressing place, man. It was really run down.
Dude,
It was like
watch a
it
movie
was like,
Paul
it
Newman
was like
called.
the scene from the Gangs of New York movie. Do you know what I mean? Just from
Well,
the
Stu,
still
you
fucking
watch
78
you like the
years
older
old.
movies. You like gangster
Huh?
movies and shit, Stu. Stu, I'm telling you, here's a movie you gotta find and watch. It's called Fort Apache: The Bronx with Paul Newman.
oh yeah, yeah.
Watch that movie, dude. I'm telling you right now, that's New York. Fucking, it was hellhole, man. It truly was. It was fucking.
Well, like even the movie The Warriors, even the movie, the Warriors.
Come
And
out
that was in the
and play.
70s. That was in Coley Island.
That's right,
1979.
and that place was as run down as it gets, you know. But
I
now
heard
they
that
reckon
too.
it's
Now
nice.
all of that is like gentrified.
Yeah, I reckon it is. Yeah.
So is that
It's
why
all
New York
already
used to
recognized.
create more like better boxers back in the days? Now,
Yeah, New York had better boxers because there was
Hell
probably-
yeah, man. We were battle tested.
Yeah, there was probably a need for that shit.
Yeah.
Like it was like
Let's be
probably
real.
a
I mean,
way to get out of that.
Brooklyn now is a lot of middle class fucking lefties now, isn't it? Let's be real. You're not going to get a world champion out of one of them, are you?
you're gonna get Paulie Malignaggi out of there.
Well,
Dude,
you won't even
fucking
get Paulie Malignaggi.
If you go to
You won't even get
East New
Malignaggi,
York,
mate.
bro. If you go to East New York, everybody knows that East New York historically is neighborhood in all of New York, probably just neighborhood. I'm not talking about like city or borough, just neighborhood. It's fucking gentrified now. I mean, it's still dangerous, but not as dangerous as before.
Yeah, the 80s, that's when you had crack, you had all that crazy epidemic going on. Everybody's trying to hustle, trying to make money, and backdoor things to do. It was so much back then, man, that if you wasn't a beast yourself, you was gonna get eaten up.
Eaten up. Even
could
look
you-
at Harlem now. Look at like Lower Harlem, Upper Manhattan, Lower Harlem. Try to buy a brownstone in Harlem. You think
it's like
you're
$1 million
Harlem,
bucks.
right? $1 million, dude.
Yeah,
You know
I
what mean?
remember when my cousin bought his brownstone in New York, right off of Eastern Parkway, when it was grimy over there. He bought it for $1. You know how much that thing is worth right now? $1.2 million.
Jeez,
All
$1 million
day.
buckaroos. Hey, you know what? It's interesting. You guys are talking about how it was back in the days in New York. Every time somebody mentions New York, they mention Taxi Driver from the 1970s, the movie. But there's one little hidden gem that most people don't talk about is Abel Ferrara's Bad Lieutenant, because that was up until the 90s, I believe. I think that movie came out in 91. But he also made a movie called Danger City or something. It's about a guy that goes around murdering strippers in New York. That movie, it shows you a seedy underbelly of New York that you don't see in Taxi Driver, and
Great
up to a certain
movie.
extent.
You know what made New York such a dangerous place is that you can get away with shit. A lot of crime went underreported. Remember, when they said that 2,300 mark, they said we think 2,300 is the lowest. It's probably more than that shit.
And you got to
It was a
remember, not only did you have the gangs in them sort of areas killing, you had people like Sammy the Bull Gravano and all them lot murdering
Yep.
people left, right, and
Exactly.
centre.
It was a combination of everything. The mafia was at its pinnacle.
It's
And
peak,
what
yeah.
happened too, Vietnam, and then because the guys who would not just get drafted, but who would join were the type of those are the guys who would join the force. So what ended up happening from 1967 to 1974, all the guys that they were graduating out of the NYPD, they even admitted, they went back now and said, yeah, we made a huge mistake. They lowered their standards, and because all the best men were joining the military, they fucking got a bunch of low-end cops. That's how, like, they got the mafia cops or the murder cops who were doing hits for the mafia. They even said if it wasn't for Vietnam, that kid wouldn't have never got on. He just we wouldn't have hired him, but they were desperate. So you let in a bunch of underqualified kids who were criminality, became cops. And next thing you know, literally you saw a cop in New York in the 80s. You didn't know if they were going to help you or rob you. It was fucking, you know.
In the chat, Reese Mack is saying you couldn't look anyone in the eye on the New York subway back then. You might get mugged.
You might get shot.
I tell you this. When somebody look at you, or let's say you just looking in the train, and a guy walk by, he's like, "What you looking at?" If you don't say, "I'm looking at your dumb ass," what you gonna do? And you don't say something like that, yeah, you getting got.
Wow.
That's like, it's like prison. You better show your fucking hood. You know what I mean? Your manhood. Yeah. If somebody ever says that, back then, what are you looking at? I'd be like, I'm looking at you, bitch. Right away.
No, okay, you know what, guys.
Then I just start throwing hands because I know that's what's coming. So I'd rather get my lick in first.
I understand you got to stand up for yourself, but that type of language, I don't think that's necessary. Also, I wanted to say that what.
Remember that story I told you, BDA? Remember that story, BDA, I told you?
Which one, man?
About,
you thought it was 100.
A lot of stories, man.
I witnessed a shootout one time.
Oh yeah.
Yo, this shootout looked like it happened for like fucking 5 minutes. In reality, it probably didn't. It was probably like because so much shit happened, dude. I think I witnessed like fucking. I mean, like maybe 3 people at least dead.
Jeez,
like they were just fucking boom, 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 boom. One guy goes up to another guy. He fucking empties out on him. He goes to run back. I guess his boy saw it, hits him a couple of times, empties out on him. I mean, they did it back then. Like, you try to do that shit now in New York. You know how fast you get caught by the cops?
Oh.
You know how fast they'll roll up on your ass? You won't.
Well, they got sensors now with pick up gunshots.
Yeah, they pick it. They got this technology now.
Yeah, exactly. They're picking up gunshots in neighborhoods.
Look,
now.
they're complaining right now that there's an uptick in crime in New York, right? Dude, the uptick that they're talking about ain't shit to what the 90s and the 80s were, especially the 80s. I think shit started calming down once Giuliani came in. I think it was 94, 95.
Giuliani cleaned it up.
Yeah.
All right. What this way, dude, right? I carried a pistol through the whole 80s, probably from 85 to 91. Seriously, every day I carried a pistol as a kid. Everywhere I went. I either had a 380, little fucking 7-shot 380. I swear to this little tiny thing. Yep, tiny little 380 in my back fucking behind my fucking belt because I never pulled it on MPA. But you know why? Everybody had them. It got to that point, like only so many times you had like, you give somebody a look in fucking traffic, you're sitting there, you fuck him head nod like what's up, all of a sudden a shotgun comes out the window and they're pointing it at you like, okay, cool. And like there's only so many times you can have that happen to you where it happens to everybody, like fuck this. You know what I mean? It's better to have one and not need it than need one and not have one. But looking back, like if I caught my kid ever carrying a pistol, just to be in today's mindset, that's crazy.
Hey, by the way, can I say
everybody was carrying them?
I want to ask you guys something because you're just real quick because you guys are saying that New York was that dangerous. Is that why Bernie Goetz was hailed as a hero in certain circles when he stood up for himself in the subway with that handgun?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there you go. That just proves it. I mean, sometimes it's not the hero you want, but it's the one you need, and that's Bernie Goetz right there for certain people, man. I mean, look at him.
BDA.
Yes.
Check it out. Let me give you an analogy. What happened?
Go ahead.
Let's say you outside and you talking to your mom. And she's in the 5th floor. She's talking down to you. You talking to her, and some guy walks up. And it's summertime. He walks up on you. He got a light jacket on. As he walks up to you, you paying attention to him and to your mom's conversation. And then you turn to the side and say, "What's up, man?" And the guy goes, "Don't say nothing." Pulls out a Mac 11 and puts it to your face and press the trigger and the thing click, click. And then right in front of your mom, you hearing your mom saying, "Oh my God, they're going to kill my baby." And then that guy, as he's click, click in the side of your temple and you punch him, put him on Queer Street, he drops the weapon, you bounce. And you're only 16 years old and this is happening to you.
What?
Is that something
How
that
would
happened
you
to you?
feel?
Well, I wouldn't feel too happy. It sounds like the start of a bad day, but what, did that happen to you? Or?
That actually happened.
Jeez.
16-year-old kid.
But wait a minute. Wait, was this just somebody you knew, or was it just some nobody that
It's
wanted?
me. I'm talking about me.
But that's what I'm saying. Was that somebody?
Yeah,
The
but
guy, the guy who put the gun on your head. Was it somebody that you knew? Is what I'm asking.
No, I didn't know the guy. He just walked up. He asked me if I was G, and I was like, no. He was talking about the kid that lives down the street, which I know him because he kind of looked like me, but it wasn't me because back then I had a mustache and a beard at age 16. You could say, you know what I'm saying? And then I knew it wasn't for me, but I'm not gonna stand there and talk to him. So I cut it after I hit him. I ran. I was running so fast that I could feel the back of my heels hitting the back
of your ass, right?
I was
fucking right. Mac
Jeez,
11, that's
a-
no joke because you can't even control those. I shot one once in the woods and just because once you pull the trigger, the thing just goes right up in the air. It's fucking insane. 45 fucking.
This fucking guy came to my block, man, and he fucking emptied that shit out. I always remember that. I don't know if it was a Mac 11, it was definitely a Uzi. And this mother, like, he just
Well, there was a lot of grease guns in New York back then too.
He just let that shit off. I think he got jumped, and you know how that goes. He got jumped. I'll be back, motherfucker. And he came back. And that was it, boy.
I'll be back,
The reason why
motherfucker.
I stopped carrying mine because, well, one of the kids we hung with, Billy Shanahan, like I said, we never fucking pulled it. But my boy Billy Shanahan, you can send the paper and shit. What happened is he had a Toyota Supra. He loved this motherfucking car. And actually, you know what's a funny story? His uncle, right? His mother's brother was Joe Perry. Is Joe Perry from Aerosmith? Look. But anyways, so Billy Red, 18 years old. Somebody throws a rock from the projects. We're driving by. He goes, I'm gonna get those motherfuckers. And he was going to drop me off my girl. I'm like, yeah, okay, dude, don't do nothing stupid. He drops me off. I can hear out in the neighborhood. I could hear it, just a fire, one crack. What happened, though, the stupid prick saw the same group of kids, took out a pistol, rolled out his window, squeezed one off. Didn't hit anybody but some kid walking out of his house, had nothing to do with it, still eating a pork chop from dinner. Boom, right in the throat, killed him. Billy just got out. He's my age. He went away at 18. I think he got out like 3 years ago. And, dude, I heard he had it rough in there. He got fucking raped and shit. Yeah, man, he went in at 18. Sarah Baranowski, he did the fucking put him away. Yeah, but yeah,
Wait.
that was I think the call for us when we were all like, man, because he was so angry and we just his anger. But that was, I think, I'm almost pretty sure we all said, fuck it, man, enough's enough with this. Plus, they passed that law where it was a mandatory year in prison.
If you've got a gun on you, if you've got a gun on you, and you're put in a situation, the likelihood is you're going to use it. And once you pull that trigger, the rest of your life, mate. And let's be real. I won't want to spend a day in an American prison. Never mind my life. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
So,
well, you know what?
One bad error, and it can cost you big time. So that's while it's not around you, that's not going to happen.
That's what happens to these. That's what happens to these kids.
Kid.
That's what happens to these kids. What happens is they'll get into a situation. They got a gun, and they say, "Fuck this." Let's say I'll give you a scenario, right? Let's say the guy got into a fight with someone, and then his friends jumped in, which is something that's notorious through America ever since I've been living here. It's like you busting one guy's ass, and then his boys jump in. That guy could be like, these motherfuckers, I'll get them back. But then he says, oh shit, I got a gun. Fuck this. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get my gun. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna shoot that motherfucker, whoever I catch. And that's it. Their life is over. Because even if they get away, let's say they get away with it, right? Because there's the whole, especially in certain areas, there's the whole no snitching, right? No snitching usually means I'm gonna handle it on my own. That's what it usually means. I'm gonna when I find this guy, I'm gonna kill him. And so the kid gets away with it. Now he's got to be worried about this shit all the time. Now everywhere he goes, he better carry his gun.
I get what you're
If
saying.
the cops get him,
subconsciously, that's all he's worrying about. If somebody's gonna retaliate on him,
exactly.
So the best thing to do is get the hell out of that area.
Yeah, instead of getting out of the area because his boys are pressuring him, oh, don't be a pussy, don't punk out, don't do shit like that. When you see that nigga handle your business, that type of thing.
Yep.
And
Wait,
they'll listen because they're dumb. I know, I've been there.
you know
So
what? It's interesting you mentioned that because it's a lesson for everybody listening out there. You guys know about this new wave of YouTube channels, right? These guys that used to ex-convicts that they start YouTube channels and they tell you about
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Wes Newton and all that, whatever his name is. Wes something
Wes
like that.
Watson. Wes
Yeah, that
Watson.
guy, the
Wes
bald dude,
Watson.
Weston. Shut the fuck up, that
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, that guy. But he said something. I
Funny.
was watching one of his videos and he said something interesting, kind of like to recognize his point, which is that he said that when you had guys, he used to be a shot caller, I think, he said. And at one point, he told a guy, young guy, hey, you got to go take care of business with this dude. In other words, beat him up. And he said that the guy was in there for 2 years. The guy that he sent to beat up somebody else, he was there for about 2 years, I think. And he ended up catching because I think he broke the guy's one of his bones in his face, so that they ended up charging him with more time because of that specific injury. And he said, well, and he says that's the thing. You come in here on a 2-year sentence, and you could end up getting a 10-year sentence because you're putting in work in prison. So he said, think about it the next time you're at a bar and some guy looks at you the wrong way, and you decide, oh, I'm going to knock him out because he's looking at me the wrong way. He says, just think about it. That could earn you a 2-year sentence that could turn into 10 years. I mean, he said just a domino effect. Is what he's saying.
BDA, check this out. When I worked, when I was just saying, when I worked at fucking prison, I'll never forget the dude's name, Scotty Arsenault. He caught a 2-year bid back in the early '80s. When I was in the early '90s, that motherfucker was still there, still had 7 more years because of the same thing. When you go in, you got to race up. That's just how it is. If you don't, you're done. So the whites go with the whites and blah, blah, blah. And if it's run by like true convicts, you got to do what you're told. And he got caught up in that shit. And then he just kept and added on. And, like you said, I came in here with 2 years, dude. I'm going to fucking probably, I'll be under for like 20.
Yeah, that's so fucked. That's.
What about,
Oh, hold on. Pete, I think Pete wants to say something, but we can't hear him. Pete.
I can't hear you, Pete.
Can you not hear me right now?
We can
I
hear
couldn't
you
hear
now.
you at all, Pete. I can barely hear you.
Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead. I think we can hear you now. Pete?
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead. Yeah, okay, come on.
Yeah, but it's not loud enough.
Yeah, it's not loud enough, man.
How about now? How about right now?
Hey, Pete, get a ladder. I'm talking to the phone.
Hey,
That
Matrix.
pinche way.
Go down to fucking 136.
Pete, you sounded like Virgil Hunter right now.
With your fucking
Hey, Pete, get a ladder. Hey, talking to the phone. I can't hear you.
Hector Camacho.
Hey,
Can you hear
Pete,
me or what?
Not
Pete,
really.
Pete, the problem is that we hear a lot of background noise from your car, the hum of your truck or whatever it is you're driving. It's deafening. It's deafening your voice. Yeah.
Your big rig.
All right.
Yeah, Hector Camacho was a street fighter too, bro.
Who? All right, Pete. All right.
Sorry, Pete.
Yeah. No, but it's true.
No,
I mean,
Hector Camacho was a street fighter, bro.
yeah. And he used to dress like one too. Remember?
Yeah. No, he was a kid that got basically discovered in the streets. They were like, from the stories I've heard, because he's from Harlem, but I got family in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, and he used to hang out there. Okay, and so the story with him was he was a street fighter. He was a kid that used to get like at 12 years old, used to fight men, beat their ass, sort of like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was doing it probably with brute strength, where Camacho was probably real fast and really coordinated with his punches and taking like older dudes out. Like that was not even a problem for him.
Yep.
And
He was doing fucking
New York
blow from
was
early
bad
age,
at
too.
that time. The 70s is when New York started to get bad in the 70s. That's when it started really getting bad.
Late 70s.
Even before that, actually the late 60s.
The boroughs were fucking destroyed by the by the oil crisis in '74. It really hit New York, and it got real. Like the Bronx, Brooklyn. It was bad. Rows after rows of abandoned houses.
Yep. And that's what happened. You see, like what's happening in Detroit, which has been happening for a while. That's what the Bronx used to look like, the South Bronx. That's what East New York and areas like
Alphabet
that.
City.
Alphabet City, the Lower East Side. Those places look like a bomb hit it. So you get a guy like Camacho who came from that environment. This was a tough kid. I mean, he was he probably went through the 70s where New York was like one of the gang capitals of the world. Then it went to the 80s where he's probably boxing already by the 80s. But in the 80s, that was when the drug crews came in and they went from gangs to being, drug cliques. So if you go to this block, you better have like a pass to get in there. Yeah.
I don't know, man. He looks like he would belong in Miguel Cotto's inner circle right there with shirtless, with his leather pants. I don't know.
But you know what? That was the style back then.
Come on.
G Boogie
excuses.
was talking about this crew called the Space. They really exist. I heard about them. Those dudes
Sex Boys. Look, Sex Boys was the original crews from the back in the 60s. That first they started top rocking from there, and then from there they started gang banging and stuff. But their ultimate goal, like the other guys, they kind of separated from them and started going into dancing. But the other guys used to still do, because they've been around with them and they know them. They grew up together. They were still grinding out there, doing criminal activities. You know what I'm saying? But then on the side, they go hang out with their boys that was doing the breakdance thing because that's where they got all the girls and all that other stuff.
Yeah, on the cardwalk, on the piece of cardboard on the sidewalk. Oh yeah, man.
But no. I'm talking about like in Roxy's because the Roxy's.
Okay, all right, yeah.
The Roxy's where everybody used to go out and battle.
Yeah, all the good ones, we all used to meet up at the Roxy and battle each other. And then if not there, like if you in your local, like for me, I used to go to Prospect Park, Park Circle. Park Circle was the roller skating ring. You know what I'm saying? So you go to your local roller skating rings and battle whoever was there, and then from there you go up to if you go hang out uptown, Bronx, South Bronx, Apache, Fort Apache, you go out there and battle all those guys. But see, like me, I was a lone wolf, which I used to be able to. I didn't rock nobody's flag. I didn't rock nobody's color. I was my bandana was white, meaning I was neutral to everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't mess with me.
That's interesting, man. That's very interesting that you could actually be a lone wolf out there. It's interesting. You guys are talking a lot of big game about these gangs, but I would put them up against my gang any time of the day, man. Any time of the day. The hard-ons. Oh, we were hard back then, let me tell you. But
what they were called?
The hard-ons.
The hard-ons.
The hard-ons.
Well, BDA, I was in New York in 1988.
Joe Coda would have loved that guy.
We were going to use the payphone. They still had them back then, right? But it was like, I think it was summer '88. We just came up from one of Mickey's fights. He fought in Atlantic City, so we went up to New York, and he wanted to use the phone. So we were about to walk into the park. It was right off the fucking, I think 42nd or whatever. You know what I mean? Right, one of the main entrances. There was two cops up on horses. And the dude whistles. And I turn to look. Goes, "Where you going?" I said, "Oh, it's using the phone." He goes, "Oh, I use the phone. I thought you were going into the park." I was like, "What are you, nuts?" I was like, wow, is it really that bad? He's like, Chuck, come on. He goes, look at her with the shell dressed up nice. Come on. Yeah, no, he whistled to tell me at first because we just going like literally 50 feet in to use there was a phone booth there. And he thought we were walking into the park. He whistled, hey, where you going? And he actually said, what are you, nuts? And this is a cop saying that.
Hey, by the way, just real quick, we're gonna go soon because the fights are the undercard's gonna start about 9 p.m. But Jimmy, while we got you, by the way, don't forget to check out Second Renaissance. We're gonna start that channel back up, and if you like this type of conversations, this is exactly what we're gonna talk about: non-boxing life experiences. We're gonna bring in articles and topical subjects or whatever. It's gonna be a more open subject show rather than just boxing, because boxing, as you can see, it can get a little boring. But sticking to the boxing a little bit, Jimmy, while we got you here, and by the way, hit that like button too as well. Don't forget to subscribe. Jimmy, we were talking about a couple of episodes ago Sammy the Bull Gravano went on a YouTube channel called Motive Media or something like that. And it was one of the first interviews he'd done in about 15 years. And he was badmouthing Teddy Atlas. Because I don't know if you remember, but about 20 years ago, there was a Dateline, I think it was Dateline NBC or 2020. They did a special report on Sammy the Bull Gravano. And they interviewed Teddy Atlas, who was training at the Gleasons back in the 90s, I believe, or 80s. And he said that Gravano, his son, used to go there. And Teddy Atlas said something along the lines of, well, Gravano said that he was never afraid of anything. So Gravano went on this Motive Media channel on YouTube, and he says, I never said that. He said that he was afraid, but that with boxing he didn't really feel it, but he did feel fear in other situations.
Because he's a killer. Why would he fear boxing where everything is fair?
Exactly. So what happened, Jimmy, is Teddy Atlas now, he went on the same show, and they asked him about Gravano, and he still maintains that Gravano said that, and he started badmouthing Gravano, and he said, oh, he's the type of guy that orders vanilla lattes on his phone app. Do you and Recognize said something along the lines of Teddy Atlas being a toxic person and that he doesn't like Teddy Atlas at all? What do you think about Teddy Atlas, and is it wise to be talking bad about a wise guy even though he's old?
Teddy Atlas, all right. Teddy Atlas reminds me, I think, a borderline personality. He's one of those dudes who's always, it's always. Say you got like 10 dudes in a room and everybody's up on something, everybody's happy about talking about an incident. He will be the one negative voice all the time. He almost feeds off negativeness. You know what I mean? Like he's just a negative type. But I never liked him. I always thought he was a cocky fuck. You know what I mean? The few times I met him, I always thought he just come across abrasive. You know what I mean?
Like the second best.
But no, Sammy the Bull. I heard. Well, I knew he was a boxer. It was something to do with Sammy's son and Atlas's kid too. I remember hearing stories about that shit.
And don't get me wrong, when I was, I don't want to sound like I was sticking up for Sammy the Bull. I mean, the guy's a fucking nuts. I'm not.
Don't walk it back now, you fucking asshole.
Like Sammy the Bull is not a nice person. You know,
right?
Not a
listen to Recognize now with his public announcement.
I'm just saying.
For 2020, don't forget, voters. I never said that.
Going to hell.
2020.
We all know it. He's going to hell.
Dude, imagine killing somebody. You shoot a dude in the back of the head. Then the next day, you're at your office and his sister's your secretary, and you're hugging her, rubbing her shoulders, saying, "Don't worry, hon, we'll find him." And when they found out and they realized he was dead, he was the one holding the mother at the fucking casket. Like you take that kind of level of sociopathy. You know what I mean? Like
Jimmy.
I mean, if you got what?
You got one of your best friends going to war against the guy that they're almost killing each other. The men that sign up for this shit know what they're signing up for. They
Yeah, I agree. No, I agree with that. That's
you can't not do it. And the daughter, I guess on a real level, what are you supposed to do? Not talk to the daughter now? I mean, like if you're friends with these guys, this is their
it takes a certain kind of mindset for that.
I can't
I know, but on both sides. On both sides, it does.
We can barely hear you, Pete.
I
barely hear you. I think I get the gist of what you're saying, but like that, I think her brother. I think he killed him for a fucking slimy reason. It wasn't even like, you know what I mean, type of. But I'm just saying, I understand. Yeah, no, I talked about that a couple episodes ago. They believe themselves to be soldiers, and you know what I mean. And some of those guys go down like that too. They, don't make a mess of it, and they fucking go down willingly because that's part of their thing. Totally understand that. But
Look,
it takes a special type of fucking sociopath
exactly
to be able to fucking do that.
No doubt.
I mean?
Look, I think I told you guys, look, I lost my older brother. He was murdered. My older brother was murdered like over 20 years ago, right?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah, I mean, it was, but I always tell people, like, because he was kind of like very popular where we came from. So when I talk to certain like young dudes and they're like, "Oh, that was your brother? Oh, I remember who you were. How did you feel?" I'm like, like I felt fucked up. I don't
think I'm gonna feel that's my brother.
Yeah, and then it's like, but my brother wasn't innocent. My brother wasn't an innocent dude. I mean, I loved him. Don't get me wrong. He's my brother. He was blood, but he wasn't like a saint that just got caught up. No, he was doing what he was doing, and hey, shit happens.
Yeah,
well, that's exactly.
Sometimes you win, and sometimes you lose.
See, most people aren't level-headed like you. especially
Right.
kids from the hood. Usually, it's all about fucking rage, and they'll just carry that shit forever. It's because of your, IQ and your level-headedness. You realize, you know what I mean. You make your bed sometimes. You know what I mean.
Yeah, let's not get carried away with the IQ and the IQ and the level-headedness. But listen, Jimmy, the guy you were talking about that was in jail that was 24 years in when he just started off doing 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The story you were telling?
Yeah, Scotty Arsenal.
Yeah, so even before he came there, even before he came to the adult facility, he was in these Jax facilities, right? When he was, from the time he was 13 years old, 14, he was in and out, right? I mean, when they were putting him in the Jax camps and the kids, the juvenile system, right? I mean, this kid's a product of the system from.
Most likely, most of them are. You know what I mean? I actually never really. You know what? I'm not. To be honest, I don't think I talked to Scotty too much about his childhood and where it was at. But it was always the same thing. It was always the same story. Some horrible story of father abandonment, abuse, and fucking sexual assault. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah, man.
That shit doesn't happen in a vacuum. Those fucking kids, I used to feel bad for a lot of them. I used to look at these dudes, I tell them straight up, the only difference between you and me is you got caught. You know what I mean?
They can't fathom that. They can't wrap their head around that shit, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember, man. I mean, things can get rough when you're a child, and sometimes you never recover. I mean, I remember one time my father, he said he was going to bring a Napolitan ice cream, the 3-flavored one. And then he shows up at home. He was gonna got chocolate. Oh, they only had chocolate. It's like you don't recover from those type of things, man. I mean, that can be traumatic. Now listen to me.
How'd you make it through, brother?
I know, man. I mean, hey, you know what? Those type of situations only make you tougher. But by the way,
He gave us some chocolate sprinkles.
Yeah. If you like this type of conversation, guys, don't forget Second Renaissance. We're gonna be holding this type of shows, more open-ended shows. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You know what? Recognize to your point. It reminds me of that in that same episode of 2020 or Dateline, whatever it was, with Sammy the Bull Gravano, when they were talking about the daughters of the victims, the guy that he'd killed, and they were like, "Oh, this guy is awful. He's a monster. We can't believe the DA made a deal with him." Blah blah blah. And then Diane Sawyer goes, "You know what? Some people say that your parents also were involved in this life, and therefore they knew what they were getting into." And then you see one woman goes, "Not to my knowledge, he wasn't." I'm thinking, come on, you're a grown woman, you got tits.
Man.
Stop pretending like he was a saint. He was in the life, he chose it, and
A lot of
I mean, like for instance, Sammy the Bull more likely killed a lot of people that were in that game. I'm not saying that he never killed somebody that probably, didn't deserve that.
Well, Sammy was hardcore. He was hardcore in the Costa Rosa. You know what I mean? He really loved the fucking life, and it's really a big deal with them to kill a civilian. Like they're not supposed to. I mean, that's why what's his name? Fucking two actual bosses have been killed for killing civilians, or 2 big time.
Absolutely unacceptable. That's the last thing they want, is any kind of publicity like that. That does not, regardless of what you hear about them. They're killing everybody. They're loan sharking. You borrow 500, now you owe them 1,000. You don't pay it back, they kill you. Why the fuck would they? That's the last thing they want, is for that to actually to prove that. You follow me?
You know the famous fucking shot. He was killed in a barber shop in 1957. That famous thing. He was like, and he jumped up towards the mirror, and 2 gunmen came in and killed him. Well, one of those shooters was it was actually supposed to be Sam G. I mean,
what about Anastasia?
Anastasia. The reason why that hit went down too. The reason why that was the final straw with him was a guy Willie. I can't forget his name. Willie something from Boston, a famous bank robber. Which of course that's Boston thing. He did a bunch of bank robberies, and this dude, just a regular everyday Joe, is the one who got him arrested because he saw him on the street, called police. So what they did, the police, I mean, the newscast, the old black and white newsreel, and they come in. Here's the hero of the day, and he did, I just did my job, and so Anastasia was so pissed. He goes, "Yeah, you fucking rat," and the dude walking home, fucking like 2 weeks later, was shot in the head. And Anastasia didn't even hide the fact that he sent Murder Incorporated out to do that hit. And the other bosses were furious. He's like, "He killed a civilian?" That was the death nail for him.
Publicly.
Just look at it.
They showed you with Anastasia publicly. They showed everybody, I'm trying to say, not only their own people doing it in a barbershop, I'm trying to say, but I'm talking about the media. The media, that other person's fame. I mean, it's just unacceptable. They wouldn't do half the business they do doing that. Like just picking on average people.
You know, my question about
I'll
Sin
tell you,
was
Pete, Stu. You talk to Stu about this shit, man. I'll tell you, I never met a kid. He's from fucking Britain. This kid knows the fucking. He could write a book on the mafia. That's how much.
I know it.
Dude
I
knows
hear
that shit.
I hear him
Crazy.
talking all the time. I'm
Oh,
saying this.
right. I
When,
don't know
when
if you ever heard him talking about it yet.
oh yeah, fuck yeah. I him and Johnny go. You know, but all I'm
Yeah,
saying is that
Johnny. I'd say Johnny knows a bit more about me, but that's more his sides, isn't it? I mean, the Chicago mafia and stuff like that. He knows.
there's a guy
Yeah,
right
but
from down here, from the town I'm standing in right now, from
Hey,
Louisiana.
hey,
Named,
Gail
it's
Bender.
one of my.
Pete.
You know, some
Yo.
people like to research. I've always been into outlaws, and like I said, the Billy the Kid story. I've always been into that.
Just look
You
at it
know.
like this historically. That every villain that took advantage of situation, even prestigious families, that's how they got rich, and they covered it up. You know, there's always a villain. There's always a good person. You know, so it's going to happen in life. People want to criminalize or take advantage of situations, and you know that's why the mafia family started. They want to take advantage of situations. You know, so it's life.
And
That's right.
prohibition is what made them go from a street gang to fucking
The
a
mafia,
multi-billion-dollar conglomerate.
the mafia was originally created.
to get Puerto Ricans out of the streets of
No,
New York.
it was actually no. The mafia in
Like,
Sicily.
it was like roaches.
The mafia in Sicily was
Yo,
originally
Pete,
created.
ours.
We don't
let's
die, we
keep it-
multiply. We multiply.
I got this Matrix kid. I got this Matrix kid running around here.
Stu, go
By
ahead.
the
Finish
way,
your point.
Motherfucker.
wait.
Stu, what, no,
Who was?
Stu, yeah, I just don't. I'm sorry, I can't barely hear you, Pete. But Stu, what were you saying about
Yeah.
the mafia back in
The
the
mafia
old
was
country?
originally.
No, he said they
The
started to get Puerto Ricans out of the streets.
You can't talk with this fucking.
He's saying it started because of prohibition.
Well, no, I'm on about the mafia in Sicily. Originally started to protect the people from the fascists and the Mussolinis, like, you know what I mean. And it just
Exactly.
grew from,
The Black Hand, right? Is that what they call them?
The Black
yeah, it
Hand.
just grew from there. And then they started obviously loan sharking, and then obviously selling all sorts. I mean, the drug. I mean, with the American Cosa Nostra, because that's not the mafia. That's Cosa Nostra's a bit different. They had the rules of no drug, but the Sicilian mafia, had
Yeah,
their
the
hands
Camada.
filthy. They had their hands filthy in drugs. So they're different
Oh,
sort of.
To this day.
If anything, I think the original American mafia had a lot more morals than the Sicilians. I mean, because Carlo Gambino, he was fresh off the boat from Sicily when he sort of like stepped in and took over, basically killed the guy
Now-
and took it. So, but most of the American ones they just had better morals. Like I said, you couldn't deal drugs, you couldn't kill civilians. You know,
I don't know if I can say this.
Police
I don't know if I can
officers.
repeat this on the air because of YouTube. But there was one thing that this Italian guy told me, and I realized how much Italians from the northern part hate Sicilians.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
wait a minute.
Recognized because they consider
there's only one
the
thing. There's only one thing worse than a N-word. But the
Oh,
way he
come
said
on.
it, he
Come
said,
on.
"Wait,
No.
He said, a fucking Sicilian."
yeah,
No,
it's
see,
true.
that's not. No.
It's true. It's true what
That's
he's
not
saying.
nice, man.
Well,
That's not
to
nice.
Stu's point, the Irish mob actually was the same
Listen,
way back in the 30s and 40s.
the
Except
Irish-
they didn't
the Irish
run
mob-
whores. They
the
didn't run
Irish
whores here.
mob, the Irish mob were far more ferocious and vicious than the
Well, I'm
Italian.
talking back in the 30s and 40s. Back
The
then, they
difference
didn't
is-
do whores.
The difference is with the two mobs. The Italian mafia is smart, and the Irish ones weren't. I mean, the Irish ones are just cold-blooded killers. The Italians used to use the Irish to take these people out. You know, it was them doing the hits. So
The West,
they're just a bit
yeah.
smarter, and obviously they got into big business. They were running the country at one time, the mafia. So the Irish, they were just brutes. They on drugs and stuff like that. Where the Italian mafia had code. The Irish didn't. They'd do what they liked, and they killed each other and all sorts. So that was the difference.
Well,
Yeah,
you know
they were
what,
brutal.
guys?
BDA, go
we
ahead.
we gotta end it because the card's about to start. But I just want to say something to the people out there, especially the kids listening out there. You know, we're talking crime and all that, and it's very interesting. But there's only two ways you end up in this game: in jail or death, or in the case of Lalin, in Carlito's way, you end up in
You
a
can't
wheelchair.
even hop no more.
You can't even
Come
hop no
on,
more.
I got fucking diapers. I shit my pants every day. I can't walk. Go ahead and kill me, you cocksucker.
Cocksucker.
Soccer.
It's
You want to
over
end up
anyway, man.
I'd
He
say
has
Michael
some balls,
Franzese.
right? He gets caught. He gets caught being a snitch, and he calls him a cocksucker.
I can't talk. I can't talk, Carlito. Papi, ¿qué pasa?
Yo,
The best.
that's the same guy. He got out of that wheelchair and he tried to sell Travis Barker all those pistols in the Sill Asylum and the PCP and that same actor.
Yeah, man. I mean,
All
listen.
right,
This
gentlemen,
That's how
listen.
you beat your 30
You
years.
guys have a
Understand that
great
or no?
evening,
That's the
man.
same actor? Okay.
No, it's not the same. It's not. That's Viggo Mortensen, man. That's Aragon. Was that Jimmy? Oh, Jimmy left. He said he
Yeah.
had to go. All right, listen, guys. We have to go to this ESPN card's about to start. Butcher, you want to say something? Last
Subscribe to Second Renaissance. The Second Renaissance. The link is in the description.
message? Yeah, Second Renaissance, everybody. Second Renaissance. We're gonna be broadcasting.
That's what we
there.
could talk about. You can't even hum.
Yes.
Fuck, Carlito. I can't even fuck. I can't even hop.
I
Can't
like
even
how,
take a
Cocksucker,
shit.
come on.
I like when he calls him out on that. He finds the wire and all that, and then the guy goes, "I was gonna give you a signal." Yeah.
When the cops had the cuffs on me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on. He said, "All right, okay, so yeah, so check out Second Renaissance, subscribe to BDA Live, and don't forget to like, subscribe. We're gonna be broadcasting from Second Renaissance. Don't forget that. So I want to thank
Be
everybody.
careful out there, Pete. Be careful out there, Pete.
Yeah, be careful, Pete, out there in Alabama, man.
Baby.
Remember, there's places in
What's
the United
that?
States you can't go. You be careful out there in Alabama. There's places you
I'm
can't
not in
go.
Alabama. I'm in New Orleans right now.
Oh, even worse. Even worse.
Yeah. It's nice
That's-
here. I'm in this is called Hammond, Louisiana. This is just
Shout
north
for
of
them
New Orleans
gays.
right here.
Shout for them
About
gays.
2 hours away from
The
me,
gays?
Pete.
Any gays around here?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
This is a normal little store right here.
Now, careful
Nice
with
house.
the gators, man. They don't play around. They'll bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
The Gators? Okay.
Yeah, the gators.
Gators. The alligators.
All right, listen, guys, thank you for joining us. I want to thank everybody who was here. Butcher, help me out here. We had Thunderdome, we had Gonzalo, we had Recognize, we had Jimmy, we had Pete, we had Stu. You were there. G Boogie as well. Can't forget G Boogie. Hopefully, I didn't forget anybody else, man. But thank you guys for joining us. Really entertaining show. Let's enjoy the fights tonight. Like I said, we got a little bit of everything in tonight's ESPN card. A grudge match between Conlan and that other guy that beat him in the Olympics, supposedly. We got a crossroads fight between Commey and Teofimo Lopez. And of course, main event, a pound for pounder in Terence Crawford taking on an undefeated fighter. So it's going to be a fantastic night of boxing, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Hey,
And
Mr. BDA, can I ask you a quick question, please? Because I
Yes.
misunderstood something earlier. Can I just ask a quick question?
yes.
All right. My contribution to today's show, no problem at all. You're very welcome. I'm like you mentioned my truck. I'm driving a different truck today, and it's loud as shit. And I had to go buy a headset. So I'm gonna watch these fights on the interstate on the way to Dallas. So let me ask you one question:
Yes.
Is this a DAZN card?
No, this is ESPN.
ESPN Plus on the app, or is
Well,
this regular ESPN? That's all I'm asking.
According to ESPN, according to the schedule on the website, it says ESPN regular.
Regular ESPN cable.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful.
All right, fantastic. I hear the sirens there in the
Appreciate that.
background. I think they're out to get you.
Sorry, boy.
No, that's all right, man. Yeah, they're out to get him for that killer show. They're gonna get him for that killer show he put on. Listen, guys, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the BDA Discord. And that's about it, fellas. Thank you for joining us. Have a Merry Christmas. It's the holiest of season, so this is the time where you drink some hot cocoa and get some marshmallows in there too as well. I want to give a shout out also to Eric Rosas and Chris K, who donated with the super chat tonight. Thank you guys for your contribution. You keep the gravy train a-rolling. And of course, I got to thank everybody in the chat room as well. GB Boxing, Jonathan Morrison, Blue Collar Sports TV, Box, BOKS, that is GB Boxing, Joe Lopez, Rock, Roficanina, Grievous, Travis the Champ, Joe Lopez, Pink Panther, The Fight Scout, who else? Crown Admirer, Santos Romo, El Caso de Paz, Jonathan Morrison, Grievous, Chris K, the aforementioned Chris K, Reese Mack. Who else was in here? Well, if I forget anybody, you guys know who you are. Galado de la Info, Triple JJJ, Uncle Burnt Apostrophe. I think Shepherd the Sons was in there as well. Crescent Fresh, Paper Tiger, and many more. Baboon Boxing, Baboon Boxing. Gonzalo was in there as well. Transnational Inc., T-Tone Toledo. And that's about it, fellas. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.
Come, they told me, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. A newborn king to see, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. Our finest gifts we bring, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. To lay before the king, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum. So to honor him, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum, when we come. Baby Jesus, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum, I am a poor boy too, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. I have no gift to bring, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. That's fit to give our king, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum. Shall I play for you, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum, on my drum? Very night, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. The ox and lamb kept time, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. I played my drum for him, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum. I played my best for him, ba-ra-ba-bum-bum, ba-ba-bum-bum.